The magic of the starlet tree. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and dense, mystical forests, there was a legend of a magnificent tree known as the starlet tree. This tree was said to grant one special wish each century to someone pure of heart, under the light of a rare blue moon. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his kindness and his adventurous spirit. Every night, he would gaze up at the stars, dreaming of the wondrous starlet tree and its magical powers. The villagers often spoke of the tree's power to heal and bring happiness, but it had been many years since anyone had seen it. One evening, as Finn was helping his mother with the harvest, she shared that the blue moon would soon rise, making it the perfect time to seek out the starlet tree. Filled with excitement and determination, Finn decided to find the tree and use its magic to help his village, which had been struggling with a harsh drought. The quest begins early the next morning. Finn packed a small satchel with essentials, a map he had found in an old book, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. He set off into the forest, following the map's directions that led to the starlet tree. As Finn ventured deeper into the forest, he came across a babbling brook with sparkling water. The brook was blocked by a series of stepping stones, some of which were moving. He noticed a friendly frog sitting on a rock nearby. The first challenge, the frog's riddle. The frog croaked, "To cross this brook, you must answer my riddle. What has keys but cannot open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but never go outside?" Finn thought for a moment and replied, "A piano." The frog hopped aside, revealing a stable path of stones. Finn carefully crossed the brook and continued his journey. The second challenge, the enchanted glade. As Finn walked further, he reached a beautiful glade where the trees were adorned with sparkling fireflies. In the center of the glade stood a wise old tree with a door carved into its trunk. A soft, ethereal voice spoke from the tree, "To proceed, you must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn thought hard and then answered, "A joke." The door in the tree opened, revealing a glowing path that led deeper into the forest. Finn followed the path with hope in his heart. The final challenge, the starlet tree. The path led Finn to a hidden grove where the starlet tree stood, bathed in the soft, silvery light of the blue moon. The tree was adorned with shimmering leaves and delicate blossoms that twinkled like stars. At its base was a small, ornate box. Finn approached the tree, and a gentle voice spoke, "To use the magic of the starlet tree, you must make a wish from the heart, for the tree grants its magic to those who seek to help others." Finn closed his eyes and made his wish, "I wish for my village to have abundant water and fertile lands, so that everyone may prosper and be happy." As he spoke, the box at the base of the tree opened, and a soft, golden light poured out. The light spread across the grove, and Finn felt a warm, comforting breeze. The return home. When Finn returned to his village, he was greeted with awe and joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, the river flowed freely, and the village was bustling with renewed energy and happiness. The villagers celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness. The magic of the starlet tree had brought prosperity and joy to everyone, and the tale of Finn's quest was told and retold for generations. The starlet tree became a symbol of hope and the power of selfless wishes. Finn's village thrived, forever touched by the magic of the tree and the heart of a young boy who wished for the happiness of others. And so, the village continued to prosper, illuminated by the gentle light of the starlet tree, and Finn's name was cherished for his courageous and noble quest. Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there was a beautiful garden known as the Moonlit Garden. This garden was magical, blooming only under the light of the full moon. The villagers spoke of its wonders with awe, for it was said that the flowers in the garden could heal, grant wishes, and reveal secrets to those who were pure of heart. In this village lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and her deep love for nature. She spent her days tending to the village's garden and helping those in need. However, Lila had always been fascinated by the moonlit garden and longed to visit it. But the garden was hidden deep within the forest, and its entrance was revealed only on nights when the full moon shone brightly. One night, as the full moon cast its silver glow over the village, Lila decided it was the perfect time to explore the moonlit garden. Armed with a lantern and a heart full of dreams, she ventured into the forest, guided by the light of the moon and her sense of wonder. As Lila walked through the forest, she followed a trail of moonlit petals that seemed to appear magically beneath her feet. The deeper she went, the more the forest seemed to sparkle with the moon's light. After a while, Lila arrived at the entrance of the moonlit garden, a hidden archway covered in glowing vines and flowers. With a sense of excitement and awe, Lila stepped through the archway and into the garden. It was even more enchanting than she had imagined. The garden was filled with flowers of every color imaginable, each glowing softly in the moonlight. The air was filled with a sweet, melodious fragrance, and the garden seemed to hum with a gentle, soothing energy. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent fountain made of crystal, its waters shimmering with moonlight. Surrounding the fountain were several pathways lined with glowing flowers, each leading to a different part of the garden. As Lila wandered through the garden, she encountered a wise old turtle resting on a moss-covered rock. The turtle looked up at Lila with gentle eyes and spoke in a soft, ancient voice. "Welcome, kind-hearted visitor," said the turtle. "The moonlit garden has many wonders, but only those with a pure heart can truly understand its magic. If you wish to receive its gifts, you must first answer a question." Lila nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "What is the question?" The turtle's eyes sparkled as it asked, "What is the most precious thing in the world that cannot be seen or touched but is felt deeply by the heart?" Lila thought for a moment and then answered with conviction, "Love." The turtle smiled and nodded. "You have answered wisely. The moonlit garden's magic is a reflection of the love and kindness you carry in your heart. The garden's true gift is the ability to reveal what is most important to you." With that, the fountain's waters began to glow brighter, and the flowers around the garden sparkled with a dazzling light. Lila felt a warm, comforting presence envelop her. And she realized that the garden was revealing her heart's deepest wish. Suddenly, Lila saw visions of her village flourishing with vibrant gardens and happy, healthy people. She saw herself helping others and bringing joy to those around her. The moonlit garden had shown her that her true wish was not just for personal gain but for the well-being and happiness of her entire village. With a heart full of gratitude, Lila thanked the garden and the wise old turtle. She knew that the magic of the moonlit garden was not just in its beauty but in the way it had illuminated her own heart's desires. As she made her way back to the village, Lila carried with her the garden's gift of inspiration. She dedicated herself to transforming her village, planting new gardens, and spreading kindness and joy. The villagers soon noticed the changes and marveled at the beauty and prosperity that had come to their homes. Lila's efforts brought the village closer together, and the once hidden magic of the moonlit garden became a part of their everyday lives. The garden's legend lived on, reminding everyone of the true magic that lies within their hearts and the power of love and kindness. And so, Lila's village thrived, and the moonlit garden continued to bloom under the light of the full moon, a symbol of the magic that exists in the world when hearts are open and filled with love. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the river sparkled like diamonds and the forests were lush and green, there lived a kind and gentle princess named Lily. Princess Lily was beloved by all for her kindness, but she often felt lonely in the grand castle. She longed for a friend who understood her love for nature and adventure. One sunny afternoon, Princess Lily decided to explore the woods that bordered her kingdom. As she wandered through the trees, she heard a faint croaking sound. Curious, she followed the sound to a small, clear pond. Sitting on a lily pad in the middle of the pond was a small, green frog. "Hello, little frog," Princess Lily said softly. "Are you the one making that sound?" To her surprise, the frog looked up and spoke. "Yes, Princess Lily, it is I. My name is Frederick, and I am not just any frog. I am an enchanted prince." Princess Lily gasped in amazement. "An enchanted prince? How did you become a frog?" Frederick explained, "A wicked witch cast a spell on me many years ago. The only way to break the spell is for a kind-hearted princess to befriend me and share 3 true acts of kindness." Princess Lily's heart went out to the little frog. "I will help you, Frederick," she said with determination. "But first, let's get you out of that pond and somewhere more comfortable." Lily carefully picked up Frederick and placed him in a small, woven basket. She carried him back to the castle, where she found a cozy spot in the garden for him. She filled a small pond with fresh water and surrounded it with soft moss and fragrant flowers. Frederick was grateful for the princess's kindness. "Thank you, Princess Lily," he said. "That is the first act of kindness." Over the next few days, Princess Lily and Frederick spent a lot of time together. They explored the castle gardens, played games, and shared stories. Lily learned that Frederick was brave and wise, and Frederick admired Lily's kind heart and adventurous spirit. One day, as they were strolling through the village, they saw a young girl crying by the roadside. Her kitten was stuck in a tall tree, too high for her to reach. Without hesitation, Princess Lily climbed the tree and rescued the frightened kitten. She gently handed the kitten back to the grateful girl, who smiled through her tears. Frederick croaked happily. "That was the second act of kindness, Princess Lily. You are truly a wonderful friend." As the days passed, the bond between Lily and Frederick grew stronger. They were inseparable, and Lily cherished every moment they spent together. But she knew she needed one more act of kindness to break the spell. One evening, as the sun was setting, Lily and Frederick were sitting by the pond. They heard a commotion in the nearby village. Rushing to see what was happening, they found that the village well had dried up, and the villagers were worried about their water supply. Without a second thought, Princess Lily decided to help. She gathered the villagers and led them to a hidden spring she had discovered during one of her adventures in the forest. The villagers worked together to dig a new well, and soon, fresh, clear water was flowing once more. Frederick beamed with joy. "Princess Lily, that was the third act of kindness. You have broken the spell." In an instant, Frederick transformed. He was no longer a small green frog but a handsome prince with kind eyes and a warm smile. The villagers cheered, and Princess Lily's heart swelled with happiness. "Thank you, Princess Lily," Prince Frederick said, taking her hands in his. "You have saved me with your kindness and friendship." The news of Frederick's transformation spread quickly, and a grand celebration was held in the kingdom. Princess Lily and Prince Frederick became the best of friends, and their bond grew even stronger. They continued to explore the kingdom together, always ready to help those in need and share their adventures. Years passed, and Lily and Frederick's friendship blossomed into love. They were married in a beautiful ceremony attended by the entire kingdom. Together, they ruled with kindness and wisdom, and their kingdom flourished. Princess Lily had found her true friend and companion, and Prince Frederick had been saved by her kindness. They lived happily ever after, always remembering that the greatest magic of all was the power of a kind heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the peaceful kingdom of Greenhaven, there was a village called Elder's Wood, famous for its ancient and majestic trees. The most revered of these trees was the Whispering Willow, an enormous tree with branches that stretched far into the sky and leaves that seemed to shimmer with a silvery light. It was said that the Whispering Willow held the wisdom of the ages and that its whispers could guide those in need. In Elder's Wood lived a kind-hearted girl named Amara. Amara had a special bond with nature, spending her days exploring the forest and tending to the plants and animals. Despite her love for the village, Amara felt a deep sense of longing. Her parents had told her tales of an ancient secret hidden within the Whispering Willow, but no one had ever uncovered it. One day, as the village faced a time of great drought, the once lush fields turned brown, and the river that flowed through the village had dwindled to a trickle. The villagers were worried and felt helpless. Amara decided that she would seek the wisdom of the Whispering Willow in hopes of finding a solution to their troubles. With a determined heart, Amara ventured into the forest towards the Whispering Willow. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the landscape. As she approached the ancient tree, she noticed its branches swaying even though there was no breeze. The tree seemed to glow softly, as if inviting her closer. Standing before the whispering willow, Amara placed her hand gently on its bark and listened closely. The tree's whispers were like a soft melody, telling tales of old. She closed her eyes and focused, hoping to understand what the tree was trying to communicate. The whispering willow's voice became clearer and spoke directly to Amara. To restore balance and bring life back to your land, you must seek the heart of the forest, hidden where the moonlight meets the water. Amara felt a surge of hope and determination. She thanked the whispering willow and set out on a quest to find the heart of the forest. The sun had disappeared behind the mountains, and the moon began its journey across the night sky. Guided by the soft moonlight, Amara made her way to the edge of the forest, where a small, enchanted pond lay hidden beneath a canopy of trees. As Amara approached the pond, she noticed that the moonlight danced upon its surface, creating a beautiful pattern of shimmering light. In the center of the pond was a small island, and upon it stood a stone pedestal. Resting atop the pedestal was a radiant crystal that seemed to pulse with a soothing, emerald glow. Carefully, Amara waded through the shallow waters to reach the island. The crystal's light grew brighter as she approached, filling the night air with a warm, calming energy. She reached out and took the crystal in her hands. It felt cool and invigorating, like a breath of fresh air. As she held the crystal, a soft, melodious voice spoke once more, "You have found the heart of the forest. Place it where the land is thirsty, and it shall restore balance and life." Amara thanked the forest and made her way back to Elder's Wood. She carried the crystal with great care and arrived just as dawn was breaking. The village was still suffering from the drought, and the river's trickle had become almost imperceptible. Amara walked to the center of the village and placed the crystal at the river's edge. As she did, the crystal began to glow brightly, and the light spread across the river. The water began to flow more vigorously, and soon the river was brimming with life-giving water. The fields began to green, and the once dry land was soon covered in vibrant foliage and blooming flowers. The villagers were overjoyed and gathered around Amara, cheering and celebrating the return of their prosperity. The whispering willow's magic had restored the land, and the village was once again flourishing. Amara's bravery and connection with nature had brought relief and hope to Elder's Wood. The village continued to thrive, and the whispering willow remained a revered guardian of wisdom and magic. From that day on, Amara was known as the Heart of Elder's Wood, and her story became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage and kindness, even the greatest challenges could be overcome. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and lush, enchanted forests, there was a small village named Rivendell. Rivendell was known for its serenity and its beautiful starry nights, which were said to be blessed by the celestial beings who watched over the land. Among the villagers was a young girl named Lyra, who loved to gaze at the night sky and dream of adventures beyond the village. One evening, as the first stars began to twinkle, Lyra discovered an old, dusty chest in her grandmother's attic. Inside the chest was an ornate compass, its face decorated with tiny stars and moons. There was an inscription on the compass that read, "To find the lost realm, follow the starlit path and listen to the whispers of the night." Intrigued by the compass and its mysterious inscription, Lyra decided to embark on an adventure to uncover its secrets. She believed it might lead her to a hidden realm that was said to bring fortune and prosperity to whoever found it. Lyra set out on her journey, carrying the compass and a small satchel with essentials. As she ventured into the enchanted forest, the compass began to glow softly, and its needle pointed toward a path bathed in moonlight. The path was lined with ancient trees whose branches seemed to whisper secrets of old. The first challenge Lyra faced was the River of Stars. The river's surface shimmered like a mirror, reflecting the constellations above. To cross the river, Lyra had to solve the riddle that appeared in the water's reflection: what is always in front of you but can't be seen? Lyra pondered the riddle for a moment, then answered, "The future." As she spoke the answer, a bridge of glowing stones rose from the river, allowing her to cross safely. Continuing her journey, Lyra arrived at the Grove of Echoes. Here, the trees were alive with the sounds of distant voices and strange, melodic echoes. In the center of the grove stood a giant oak tree with a face carved into its bark. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice, "To pass. You must give something precious to you. Lyra thought about what she could give. She took off a locket she always wore, a gift from her late grandmother. She gently placed it at the base of the tree. The oak's eyes softened, and it granted her passage through the grove, guiding her further along the starlit path. The final challenge was the Tower of Twilight, a tall, slender tower shrouded in mist. At the base of the tower was a door with a large, intricate lock. The compass's needle pointed directly at the door, but there was no keyhole. Instead, the door had a series of moving stars that formed a puzzle. Lyra remembered the whispers of the trees and the glimmering reflections of the river. She realized that the stars needed to be aligned in a specific pattern, one that matched the constellation she saw on the night she first discovered the compass. With careful attention and a steady hand, she aligned the stars correctly, and the door creaked open. Inside the tower was a grand chamber with a starry sky visible through a crystal ceiling. At the center of the chamber was a celestial map that sparkled with the light of countless stars. The map showed a hidden realm bathed in a golden glow, an ethereal land of beauty and abundance. Lyra understood that the lost realm was not just a physical place but a state of harmony and prosperity that could be brought back to Rivendell. She made her way back to her village, guided by the compass, which now glowed brightly with a soft, golden light. Upon returning to Rivendell, Lyra shared the story of her adventure in the celestial map with the villagers. Inspired by her journey, the people worked together to restore their land, planting new crops, building new homes, and nurturing the natural beauty around them. The compass, having fulfilled its purpose, was placed in the village square as a symbol of hope and unity. Rivendell flourished, its fields grew lush and green, and the village became renowned for its prosperity and peace. Lyra's adventure became a beloved tale told to every new generation in Rivendell, a story of bravery, wisdom, and the magic that lies in following the starlit path. The compass remained a cherished treasure, a reminder that sometimes the greatest journeys lead us to the most wonderful discoveries right where we started. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between emerald hills and shimmering lakes, there was a grand old tree known as the Whispering Willow. The tree was said to have magical powers and could grant wishes to those who approached it with a pure heart. However, no one had ever heard the tree's whispers, and its magic had become more of a legend than a reality. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her kindness and her love for nature. She spent her days tending to the village gardens and helping the animals. Though she often heard stories about the Whispering Willow, she had never seen it up close. One sunny afternoon, as Mira was walking by the edge of the forest, she noticed a gentle breeze rustling through the trees. The wind carried a soft, melodious whisper that seemed to be calling her name. Intrigued, Mira followed the sound until she reached the Whispering Willow. The ancient tree stood tall and majestic, its branches swaying gracefully as if greeting her. Mira approached the tree with reverence. "Hello, Whispering Willow," she said softly. "I've heard so much about you and your magic. I wish to understand if the tales are true." To her surprise, the Whispering Willow responded with a warm, melodic voice. "Welcome, Mira. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to hear my whispers. To unlock my magic, you must first solve the riddles of the forest. Only then will you discover the true power of the Whispering Willow." Mira eagerly agreed to the challenge. The first riddle came from the tree's rustling leaves. "I am not alive, but I can grow. I don't have eyes, but I can see. I am not alive, but I need light to live. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and answered, "A shadow." The Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered with approval. The second riddle followed. "I have keys but open no doors. I have strings but I am not a harp. You can play me, but I am not a game. What am I?" With a smile, Mira replied, "A piano." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed with delight. And the final riddle was presented. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira answered confidently, "A joke." The tree's branches sparkled with a magical light, and the Whispering Willow's voice grew clearer. "You have solved the riddles and shown your kindness. Now, tell me, what is your heart's deepest wish?" Mira thought for a moment. She had seen the village face many hardships, droughts, illnesses, and difficult times. Her greatest wish was for the well-being and happiness of everyone in her village. "I wish for my village to thrive and for all its people to be happy and healthy," Mira said with sincerity. The whispering willow's branches glowed brightly, and a soft breeze carried a shower of golden leaves over the village. As the leaves touched the ground, they transformed into vibrant, blooming flowers and lush, green fields. The village's crops grew plentiful, and the villagers' spirits lifted with newfound joy and prosperity. Mira returned to her village to find it transformed. The fields were lush, the animals were healthy, and the people were filled with happiness. They celebrated Mira's wish, and the whispering willow became a cherished part of their lives. From then on, the village flourished, and Mira continued to spread kindness and care. The tale of the whispering willow and Mira's selfless wish was passed down through generations, a reminder of the magic that lies in a pure heart and the power of wishing for the well-being of others. And so, the whispering willow's magic lived on, a symbol of hope and the strength of a kind and loving heart. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a charming village named Elderglen. Elderglen was known for its beautiful meadows, but one meadow, in particular, stood out. It was called the Moonlit Meadow, and it was said to be enchanted. Under the light of the full moon, the meadow would come alive with glowing flowers and twinkling fireflies. In this village lived a young girl named Mia. Mia was kind-hearted and had a deep love for nature. She spent her days exploring the meadows, helping the villagers, and taking care of the animals. Despite her many adventures, Mia had never seen the moonlit meadow in its full glory. She had heard tales of its magical beauty and had always longed to witness it for herself. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, the village's celebrations for the harvest festival were underway. The sky was clear, and Mia decided that tonight would be the perfect time to visit the moonlit meadow. She hoped to see the meadow's magic and perhaps find a way to share it with the entire village. As Mia walked towards the moonlit meadow, she noticed that the path was more overgrown than usual. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, and the shadows seemed to dance around her. Undeterred, Mia followed the winding path through the forest. After a while, she arrived at the edge of the moonlit meadow. To her surprise, the meadow was shrouded in a thick, magical fog. The flowers were barely visible, and the fireflies' light was dim. Mia's heart sank. She had hoped to see the meadow at its most magical. Just then, a soft, melodic voice spoke from the fog. "Welcome, Mia. You have come to see the moonlit meadow." Startled, Mia looked around and saw a graceful figure emerging from the mist. It was a fairy with shimmering wings and a warm, gentle smile. "I am Leora, the guardian of the moonlit meadow," the fairy said. "The magic of the meadow has been hidden by the fog because it is in need of a special touch. Only someone with a pure heart can restore its magic." Mia listened intently as Leora explained that the fog had been cast by a spell to protect the meadow. To lift the spell and reveal the meadow's true beauty, Mia needed to find 3 enchanted tokens hidden within the fog. Each token represented a virtue: kindness, bravery, and wisdom. Leora handed Mia a small, glowing lantern. "This lantern will guide you. Follow the light, and it will lead you to the tokens." With the lantern in hand, Mia ventured into the fog. The lantern's light was soft but steady, and Mia followed its glow as it gently illuminated the path ahead. The first token, a silver heart representing kindness, was hidden near a grove of ancient trees. Mia found it nestled among the roots, where a family of squirrels had built their home. To retrieve the token, Mia had to gently move the squirrel's nest without disturbing the animals. She carefully placed the nest back and took the silver heart. The second token, a golden sword symbolizing bravery, was hidden in a small cave guarded by a gentle, giant bear. The bear seemed to be asleep, but Mia knew she had to retrieve the token. She approached the bear quietly and noticed that it had a thorn stuck in its paw. Using her bravery and compassion, Mia carefully removed the thorn and soothed the bear. In gratitude, the bear revealed the golden sword. The final token, a crystal orb representing wisdom, was hidden on a high cliff. Mia had to climb the cliff, which was steep and challenging. As she climbed, she used her knowledge of the forest to find safe handholds and footholds. At the top, she discovered the crystal orb glowing softly under the moonlight. With all 3 tokens in hand, Mia returned to Leora. The fog around the moonlit meadow began to lift as Mia presented the tokens. Leora used the tokens to cast a spell, and the meadow was bathed in a brilliant, magical light. The flowers bloomed in a kaleidoscope of colors, and the fireflies danced in intricate patterns. The moonlit meadow was even more beautiful than Mia had imagined. The entire meadow sparkled with an otherworldly glow, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of the flowers. Mia and Leora admired the beauty of the meadow. "You have shown great kindness, bravery, and wisdom," Leora said. "The magic of the moonlit meadow is now restored, and it will bring joy to all who visit." Mia returned to Elderglen with a heart full of wonder and a story to share. The villagers were amazed by the tale and eagerly visited the moonlit meadow to witness its magic. The meadow became a place of joy and inspiration for the entire village, and Mia's bravery and pure heart were celebrated. And so, the moonlit meadow continued to shine brightly under the full moon, bringing happiness and enchantment to all who experienced its magic. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a serene valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a quaint village called Everbrook. The villagers lived simple but happy lives, but they were always enchanted by the legends of a hidden kingdom that lay beyond the mountains. According to the tales, this kingdom was filled with untold wonders and was ruled by a wise and benevolent queen. The key to finding this magical land was a mystical silver bell that was said to ring only when the time was right. In Everbrook lived a curious and brave young girl named Elowen. Elowen had always been fascinated by the stories of the hidden kingdom and dreamed of finding it. Her grandmother had told her that the silver bell had been lost for generations, and many had tried to find it but to no avail. One evening, as the village prepared for the harvest festival, Elowen discovered an old, ornate box hidden in the attic of her home. Inside the box was a beautiful silver bell, its surface engraved with intricate patterns that sparkled in the dim light. Excited and filled with hope, Elowen rang the bell. The sound was melodious and clear, and to her amazement, a soft, glowing mist began to form around her. The mist swirled and thickened until it revealed a hidden pathway leading up into the mountains. With a heart full of anticipation, Elowen packed a small bag with essentials and set off on the path with her loyal cat, Moonshadow, by her side. As Elowen journeyed through the misty mountains, the path grew steeper and the air colder. The mist seemed to guide her, leading her through ancient forests and over babbling brooks. Eventually, she arrived at a towering gate adorned with silver vines and shimmering crystals. The gate was closed, but the bell in Elowen's hand began to ring softly. The sound of the bell resonated through the gate, and it slowly creaked open, revealing a hidden kingdom bathed in a soft, golden light. The kingdom was breathtaking, lush gardens with flowers of every color, sparkling streams, and majestic castles that seemed to touch the sky. Elowen stepped through the gate and found herself in a grand courtyard where a beautiful, ethereal queen awaited her. The queen, with her flowing silver robes and a crown that glowed like the stars, greeted Elowen with a warm smile. "Welcome, brave traveler. I am Queen Seraphina of the Hidden Kingdom. The time has come for us to reveal ourselves to the world beyond the mountains." Elowen bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I found the silver bell and followed its call. I wish to learn about your kingdom and how I might help." Queen Seraphina's eyes sparkled with gratitude. "Long ago, our kingdom was hidden to protect it from darkness and harm. The silver bell was our guide and our safeguard. With the bell's return, we can now share our magic and wisdom with the world." The queen then explained that the hidden kingdom had a special task for Elowen. The land's magic had begun to wane, and they needed someone with a pure heart and unwavering spirit to help restore it. The task was to find 3 magical artifacts scattered throughout the kingdom: the Crystal of Light, the Pendant of Harmony, and the Book of Wisdom. Elowen accepted the challenge with determination. Her first quest was to find the Crystal of Light, hidden in the depths of the enchanted cavern. The cavern was illuminated by glowing crystals and echoed with the sound of dripping water. After navigating through the dazzling cavern, Eloan discovered the Crystal of Light resting on a pedestal, its glow casting a serene light over the entire cavern. Next, Eloan sought the Pendant of Harmony, located in the Whispering Grove, where the trees were said to communicate in gentle murmurs. By listening carefully to the whispers, Eloan followed the clues and found the pendant hanging from a branch of the oldest tree in the grove, its gentle glow resonating with the harmony of the forest. The final artifact was the Book of Wisdom, which was hidden in the Sky Tower, a tall, spiral tower reaching into the clouds. Climbing the tower was a test of endurance, but Eloan's resolve never wavered. At the top, she found the Book of Wisdom on a grand, ornate table, its pages filled with ancient knowledge and glowing runes. With all three artifacts in hand, Eloan returned to the Queen. Queen Seraphina used the artifacts to perform a powerful ceremony, restoring the kingdom's magic and ensuring that it would continue to thrive and share its wonders with the world. In gratitude, Queen Seraphina offered Eloan a special gift, a golden locket that would allow her to visit the hidden kingdom whenever she wished. Eloan returned to Everbrook with tales of her adventure and the promise of a new era of friendship and magic between the kingdom and the outside world. Everbrook flourished with the newfound magic, and the hidden kingdom became a cherished ally. Eloan's bravery and kindness were celebrated throughout the land, and the story of the Silver Bell and the hidden kingdom became a beloved legend. And so, the kingdom's magic continued to inspire and enchant, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Everwood, there was an old well at the edge of the village square. This was no ordinary well, it was known as the Wishing Well. Legend said it could grant one wish to those who truly believed and had a heart full of hope. However, the well had been silent for many years, and its magic was thought to have faded. In Everwood lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was a dreamer with a heart full of kindness. He spent his days helping his neighbors, always hoping to make their lives better. His greatest wish was to restore his village's old library, which had fallen into disrepair and was now closed. Finn believed that the library held the key to unlocking the village's potential and bringing knowledge and joy to everyone. One crisp autumn day, after reading one of the few books left in the library, Finn decided that he would try to make his wish come true. He approached the wishing well with a determined heart. As he gazed into its depths, he saw nothing but darkness. Yet, he had heard the stories from his elders and believed in the well's magic. With a deep breath, Finn took a small coin from his pocket and dropped it into the well, making his heartfelt wish. "I wish to restore the old library and bring knowledge and happiness back to Everwood," he said. The well remained silent, and Finn left feeling a mixture of hope and doubt. As days passed, Finn worked tirelessly on his own, cleaning up the library, repairing broken shelves, and gathering donations from the villagers. Despite his efforts, the library remained a long way from being restored. One night, as Finn was working late, a soft glow filled the library. He looked up to see a small, glowing figure hovering in the air. It was a friendly fairy named Leora, who had been sent by the magic of the Wishing Well. "Finn, your wish has reached the heart of the well," Leora said with a warm smile. "But to truly restore the library, you must undertake a quest. The library holds many secrets, and only by uncovering them can you bring it back to life." Leora handed Finn a small, ornate key and a map that showed 3 hidden locations around the village. Each of these places holds a piece of the library's magic. Find them, and you will unlock the power needed to restore the library. Finn accepted the key and the map, and the next day began his quest. The first location on the map was the old oak tree at the edge of the village. Finn discovered a hidden compartment in the tree's trunk, containing a dusty, old book. As he opened the book, it glowed with a warm light, and the pages revealed the history of the library and its significance to Everwood. The second location was a small, forgotten garden behind the village church. In the center of the garden was a weathered stone pedestal. On the pedestal was a delicate, silver charm shaped like an open book. Finn took the charm and felt a surge of inspiration and hope. The final location led Finn to the village's ancient well, which was now a serene pond covered with lily pads. Underneath the water, Finn found a beautiful, golden locket. Inside the locket was a tiny, intricate model of the library. Finn realized that the locket symbolized the heart of the library and its connection to the villagers. With all three pieces in hand, Finn returned to the library. As he placed the book, charm, and locket in the center of the main reading room, a brilliant light enveloped the library. The old shelves and walls were magically restored, and the library's once dusty books began to glow with new life. The villagers gathered in awe as the library was transformed into a vibrant, welcoming place filled with knowledge and magic. They celebrated Finn's success and thanked him for his dedication and hard work. From that day on, the library became the heart of Everwood, where villagers came to learn, share stories, and dream of new possibilities. Finn's wish had come true, and the village flourished with renewed energy and joy. The wishing well, though silent once more, had fulfilled its promise through Finn's unwavering belief and determination. And so, the tale of the wishing well and the boy who restored the library became a cherished story in Everwood, inspiring generations to believe in the magic of their own hearts and the power of dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the seasons danced in harmony, there was a magical kingdom called Verdant Vale. Verdant Vale was unique because it experienced all 4 seasons simultaneously. Spring blossomed in the east, summer shone in the south, autumn painted the west in golden hues, and winter frosted the north. The heart of Verdant Vale was a magnificent castle where Queen Aria ruled with wisdom and kindness. The secret to the kingdom's perpetual harmony lay in the crystal of the 4 seasons, a magical artifact that balanced the elements of nature. The crystal was kept in the castle's highest tower, guarded by powerful enchantments. Queen Aria had a daughter named Elara, a spirited and adventurous young princess with hair as golden as the summer sun and eyes as blue as the winter sky. Elara loved exploring the kingdom and making friends with its many creatures, from the talking birds of spring to the playful foxes of autumn. One day, as Elara was playing in the garden, a dark cloud descended over Verdant Vale. The sky grew ominously dark, and the winds howled with a chilling intensity. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared. It was Malvik, a sorcerer banished from Verdant Vale long ago for his dark ambitions. Queen Aria. Malvik's voice boomed through the castle. Your reign of harmony ends today. I shall take the crystal of the 4 seasons and plunge this land into eternal darkness. Before anyone could react, Malvik cast a spell that shattered the crystal into 4 pieces, scattering them across the kingdom. Each piece was carried away by the winds to the farthest corners of Verdant Vale. The balance of the seasons was broken, and chaos ensued. Winter snowed upon summer, autumn leaves fell upon spring blossoms, and the once harmonious land was thrown into turmoil. Queen Aria, though heartbroken, remained resolute. Elara, she said, her voice steady, you are the only one who can restore balance to our kingdom. You must find the 4 pieces of the crystal and bring them back. Elara, determined to save her home, set off on her quest. She traveled first to the east, where the spring blooms were wilting under a sudden frost. There, she met a wise old hare named Thistle, who guided her to a hidden grove where the first piece of the crystal lay beneath an ancient cherry tree. Beware, princess, Thistle warned. Malvik's magic has awakened the frost golem, who guards this grove. Summoning her courage, Elara approached the grove and found the frost golem towering over the crystal shard. Using her quick wits, she tricked the golem into chasing a decoy made of snow, giving her the chance to retrieve the crystal piece. With the first piece secured, Elara journeyed south to the summer lands, now plagued by unpredictable rainstorms. In the heart of a sun-scorched desert, she encountered a fiery phoenix named Solara. The phoenix, impressed by Elara's determination, helped her locate the second piece of the crystal hidden in a cave of molten lava. To retrieve it, Elara had to cross a river of fire. Solara gifted her a feather that allowed her to walk through the flames unharmed. With the second piece in hand, she continued west to the autumn lands. There, the once vibrant forests were cloaked in fog and shadows. Elara found herself in a maze of enchanted trees, where she met an elusive stag named Orion. Orion led her to the center of the maze, where the third piece of the crystal was guarded by a mischievous spirit named Whisper. Elara engaged Whisper in a riddle contest, knowing that spirits loved games of wit. After correctly solving Whisper's riddles, she earned the third piece of the crystal. Finally, Elara traveled north to the Winterlands, where blizzards now raged uncontrollably. In an ice cavern, she encountered a snow leopard named Frost. With Frost's help, Elara located the final piece of the crystal, embedded in a glacier. To free it, she had to melt the ice using the warmth of her heart. Elara remembered the love she had for her family and her kingdom. Focusing on these feelings, she held the crystal piece and, miraculously, the ice melted away. With all 4 pieces of the crystal, Elara returned to Verdant Vale. She climbed the castle's highest tower and placed the pieces together. The crystal glowed with a brilliant light, restoring balance to the seasons. The dark clouds parted, and Malvek's spell was broken. Queen Arya embraced Elara, her eyes filled with pride. "You have saved us all, my brave daughter." The kingdom rejoiced, and Verdant Vale once again flourished with the harmony of the 4 seasons. Elara's adventure became a legendary tale, reminding everyone of the power of courage, wisdom, and love. And so, under the eternal dance of the seasons, Verdant Vale thrived, and Princess Elara's bravery was celebrated for generations to come. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, there was a quaint little shop that sold magical items. Among the shop's treasures was a small, humble lantern with a soft, golden glow. This lantern, known as Lumina, had a special gift. It could light the way to lost things and guide those in need. Lumina was proud of her gift, but she felt she had never had a chance to truly prove herself. She spent her days in the shop's window, waiting for someone to come and discover her true potential. The shopkeeper, a kind-hearted old woman named Mrs. Hazel, often spoke to Lumina about the adventures she had experienced, filling Lumina with dreams of becoming a hero. One day, a great storm swept through the village. The wind howled, and the rain poured down in torrents. As the storm raged on, a distress signal was heard. A group of villagers had ventured into the enchanted forest and had become lost. The villagers were worried because the forest was known to be filled with magical creatures and tricky paths that changed with every moonrise. Mrs. Hazel knew that the forest was a dangerous place in a storm and decided that Lumina was the perfect lantern to help find the lost villagers. "Lumina, this is your chance to shine. You have the gift to light the way. The villagers need you now," Mrs. Hazel said, setting Lumina gently onto a small, sturdy cart. Lumina's light flickered with excitement and determination as she was wheeled out into the storm. Guided by the wind and the storm's howling, Lumina's glow cut through the darkness, revealing a faint path leading into the forest. With each step, Lumina's light grew stronger, guiding her through the tangled underbrush and over slippery rocks. The forest was indeed magical, with trees that whispered secrets and paths that twisted and turned unexpectedly. Lumina's light shone brightly, and she began to sense a deep connection to the forest's magic. The lantern's glow helped calm the storm's fierce winds, creating a protective shield around the path she illuminated. As Lumina ventured deeper, she found signs of the lost villagers, a dropped scarf here, a broken branch there. Following these clues, she continued on, her light brightening the way. After what seemed like an eternity, Lumina finally saw the figures of the lost villagers huddled together under a large, old oak tree. They were cold, frightened, and very relieved to see the warm, golden light. "Over here!" Lumina's light seemed to call out, and the villagers followed her glow with hope in their eyes. The path back was not easy, but Lumina's light made it safe. She guided the villagers through the enchanted forest, protecting them from the swirling storm and showing them the way to safety. When they emerged from the forest, the storm had begun to clear. The villagers were overjoyed and grateful. They praised Lumina for her bravery and thanked Mrs. Hazel for sending the magical lantern to their aid. Lumina, glowing with pride, felt a sense of fulfillment she had never known before. She had finally proved herself as more than just a pretty lantern in the shop window. She was a true hero. Back in the village, the people celebrated Lumina with a grand feast and a festival in her honor. They decorated her with flowers and hung her in the village square, where she continued to light the way for anyone in need. From then on, Lumina was not only known for her beautiful light but also for her bravery and the kindness she had shown. She became a symbol of hope and courage, reminding everyone that even the smallest light could make a big difference in the darkest of times. And so, Lumina's light shone brightly in the heart of the village, a beacon of hope and a reminder that true courage and kindness come from within. The end. In a quaint village surrounded by lush meadows and sparkling streams, there stood an ancient oak tree known as the Whispering Oak. This majestic tree was famous for its shimmering leaves that rustled even on the stillest days, said to hold the secrets of the forest and the wisdom of the ages. The villagers often told stories about the Whispering Oak, claiming it could grant wishes to those with pure hearts and noble intentions. Many tried to find out if the tales were true, but none had ever succeeded in uncovering its magic. One day, a young boy named Finn arrived in the village. Finn was known for his kindness and curiosity. He had heard the tales of the Whispering Oak and was eager to discover if the legends were real. With his faithful dog, Bramble, by his side, he ventured into the forest to find the ancient tree. After a long walk through the forest, Finn and Bramble finally reached the Whispering Oak. The tree was even more magnificent than Finn had imagined. Its trunk was thick and gnarled, and its leaves sparkled with a golden hue. Finn approached the tree with reverence, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. He gently placed his hand on the tree's bark and whispered, "I've heard stories about your magic. I'm not here to ask for riches or fame, but to learn something that could help my village and those in need." The leaves of the Whispering Oak rustled softly, and Finn thought he heard a faint voice whispering back, "The magic you seek is not for yourself but for others. To find it, you must first prove your heart's true intentions." Suddenly, a gentle breeze swept through the forest, and Finn found himself standing before three paths, one leading to a misty valley, another to a sparkling stream, and the third to a sunlit glade. Each path seemed to hold its own promise. Finn chose the path to the misty valley, drawn by a sense of mystery. As he walked, the mist grew thicker, and he soon encountered a family of deer trapped in the fog. The deer were struggling to find their way, and Finn could see their distress. Using his wits, Finn guided the deer through the mist, calling to them gently and leading them towards the edge of the fog. Once they were safe, the deer nuzzled Finn in gratitude before disappearing into the forest. Finn continued on his journey, reaching the sparkling stream. The stream was beautiful, but it was obstructed by a tangle of fallen branches. Finn saw a family of frogs stuck on the other side, unable to reach their home. With determination, Finn carefully removed the branches and cleared a path for the frogs. They hopped across the stream, croaking their thanks as they went. Finn felt a sense of fulfillment knowing he had helped the forest creatures. The last path led to the sunlit glade, where Finn found a small, injured bird nestled in the grass. It had a broken wing and looked up at Finn with trusting eyes. Finn gently picked up the bird and fashioned a little nest from his own scarf to keep it warm. He then used his skills to mend the bird's wing as best as he could. As Finn cared for the bird, he realized that the true magic of the Whispering Oak was not in grand wishes or magical transformations but in the simple acts of kindness and compassion. The bird soon began to flutter its wings, and with a grateful chirp, it flew into the sky. Returning to the Whispering Oak, Finn felt a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. He approached the tree once more and said, "I've done my best to help those in need, just as you guided me." The Whispering Oak's leaves rustled softly, and Finn heard a warm, comforting voice say, "You have proven the true magic of a pure heart. The wisdom you sought lies within you. Use it to help others, and you will find that the magic you give will return to you tenfold." As Finn and Bramble left the forest, the village welcomed them with open arms. The villagers were amazed at Finn's tales of the forest and the creatures he had helped. Finn shared his experiences and the lessons he had learned, and the village soon became known for its kindness and generosity. The Whispering Oak continued to stand tall in the forest, a symbol of the magic that lives in acts of compassion and the wisdom that guides those who seek to help others. And so, the village flourished, always remembering the true magic of the Whispering Oak. Once upon a time, in a land where the stars kissed the earth and the moon bathed the world in its gentle glow, there was a kingdom known as Luminera. This kingdom was ruled by a wise and kind king named Orion and his equally wise queen, Selene. They had a daughter named Luna, who was as radiant and enchanting as the moon itself. Luna was adored by all in the kingdom. She had a gift unlike any other: she could communicate with the stars. Every night, she would sit by her window and whisper to them, and they would twinkle back, sharing their ancient secrets and wisdom. Her parents and the people of Luminera cherished her for her kind heart and her ability to bring light and hope to everyone around her. However, not all was peaceful in Luminera. A dark sorcerer named Morbius envied the kingdom's happiness and Luna's unique gift. He lived in the Shadowlands, a desolate place where no light could penetrate, and plotted to steal Luna's powers for himself. He believed that with her abilities, he could control the stars and plunge the world into eternal darkness. One fateful night, Morbius cast a powerful spell that enveloped the kingdom in a thick, impenetrable fog. He kidnapped Luna, taking her to his lair in the Shadowlands. The kingdom fell into despair, and the stars dimmed, mourning the loss of their beloved princess. King Orion and Queen Selene were heartbroken, but they did not lose hope. They called upon the bravest knight in the kingdom, Sir Arion, to rescue their daughter. Sir Arion was known for his valor and unwavering courage. With a heavy heart but a determined spirit, he set off on his quest, guided only by the faint light of the stars that still shone for Luna. As Sir Arion journeyed through treacherous forests and over perilous mountains, he encountered various magical creatures. A wise old owl named Athena offered him guidance, a mischievous fox named Vixen provided clever tricks to evade traps, and a gentle deer named Elara gave him strength and healing herbs. Each creature, touched by Luna's kindness in the past, was eager to help in her rescue. After days of arduous travel, Sir Arion finally reached the Shadowlands. The darkness was suffocating, but he pressed on, driven by the thought of Luna's light. He found Morbius's lair, a towering fortress of black stone, surrounded by swirling shadows. Inside, Luna was trapped in a crystal cage, her light fading. Morbius stood over her, chanting a spell to drain her powers. Sir Arion knew he had to act quickly. He took a deep breath and called upon the gifts from the magical creatures, Athena's wisdom, Vixen's cunning, and Elara's strength. With their help, he managed to outwit Morbius's guards and confront the dark sorcerer. A fierce battle ensued. Morbius's dark magic clashed with Sir Arion's bravery. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, Luna mustered her remaining strength and called out to the stars. They responded with a burst of light so brilliant it shattered her crystal cage and blinded Morbius. Seizing the opportunity, Sir Arion struck the sorcerer with his sword, breaking his dark spell. With Morbius defeated, the shadows dissipated, and Luna's light returned, brighter than ever. She and Sir Arion made their way back to Luminera, where they were welcomed with tears of joy and relief. The stars shone brightly once more, celebrating the return of their beloved princess. King Orion and Queen Selene embraced their daughter, grateful for her safe return and the bravery of Sir Arion. Luna's gift had not only saved her kingdom but had also forged unbreakable bonds of friendship and loyalty. From that day forward, Luminera flourished under the gentle light of the Moonlight Princess. Luna continued to communicate with the stars, sharing their wisdom and guiding her people with compassion and grace. Sir Arion was hailed as a hero and became Luna's closest advisor and friend. And so, under the eternal glow of the moon and stars, the kingdom of Luminera lived in peace and harmony, forever grateful for the light and love that Luna brought into their lives. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a charming village named Larkspur, nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a magical meadow that only appeared under the light of the full moon. The meadow was known for its enchanting beauty, with flowers that glowed softly in a gentle, melodious breeze that carried secrets whispered by the wind. The villagers of Larkspur had always marveled at the moonlit meadow, but they believed it was merely a beautiful illusion. Only one person believed otherwise, a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for nature. She spent her days exploring the forests and meadows surrounding the village, always longing to uncover the secrets of the moonlit meadow. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara decided to venture into the meadow, determined to discover its true magic. She waited patiently as the moonlight bathed the meadow in its silvery glow. As the moon reached its zenith, the meadow began to shimmer and take shape before her eyes. Elara stepped into the meadow, her heart racing with excitement. The flowers glowed with a soft, ethereal light, and the air was filled with a sweet, calming fragrance. She wandered through the meadow, marveling at its beauty, until she came upon a large, ancient oak tree at the center. The oak tree had a hollow at its base, and in the hollow was a small, intricately carved box. The box was adorned with delicate patterns of stars and moons, and it seemed to pulse with a gentle energy. Elara felt a sense of awe and curiosity as she carefully opened the box. Inside the box was a golden key and a note written in elegant script, to reveal the meadow's secret true. 3 tasks must be done by you. Find the star that guides the night. Uncover the path to hidden light. And sing the song the moon imparts. Only then will you unlock the heart. Elara knew that these tasks would be challenging, but her determination was unwavering. She set off to complete the tasks, guided by the moon's light and her own courage. Task 1: Find the star that guides the night. The first task led Elara to a secluded hilltop where she could see the night sky clearly. She searched the heavens for the guiding star mentioned in the note. After a long search, she noticed a star with a unique, shimmering hue, slightly different from the others. Elara realized that this star was guiding her towards her next destination. She made a mental note of its position in the sky and followed its direction. Task 2: Uncover the path to hidden light. Following the star's guidance, Elara arrived at the edge of a dense forest. The path was obscured by thick foliage, but Elara noticed a faint, glowing trail that seemed to lead deeper into the woods. She followed the trail, which became brighter and more defined as she ventured further. The path led her to a clearing where a large, glowing stone stood at its center. The stone was inscribed with symbols that matched those on the box. Elara touched the stone, and a hidden passage opened beneath it, leading her to her next challenge. Task 3: Sing the song the moon imparts. The passage led Elara to a small, serene pond surrounded by softly glowing flowers. At the pond's edge, she saw an old, weathered lute. The lute seemed to hum with a gentle melody. Elara picked up the lute and began to play, drawing inspiration from the moon's light and the magical atmosphere of the meadow. As she played, she sang a song of hope, wonder, and love, her voice carrying the melody into the night. As Elara sang, the flowers around the pond began to glow more brightly, and the water shimmered with a soft, golden light. The pond's surface rippled, revealing an ornate chest submerged beneath the water. Elara retrieved the chest, her heart filled with anticipation. With the chest in hand, Elara returned to the oak tree in the meadow. She placed the chest on the ground and used the golden key to unlock it. Inside the chest was a glowing orb, pulsating with a warm, inviting light. The orb radiated a sense of peace and magic. And as Elara held it, she felt a deep connection to the meadow and its enchantment. As the orb's light touched the meadow, the flowers glowed even more brightly, and the entire meadow seemed to come alive with a vibrant, harmonious energy. The secret of the moonlit meadow was revealed. It was a place where the magic of the night and the light of the moon combined to create a sanctuary of beauty and wonder. Elara's bravery and curiosity had unlocked the meadow's heart, and she was greeted with a gentle breeze that whispered its gratitude. The meadow's magic would now be shared with all who visited, bringing peace and joy to the village of Larkspur. From that night on, the villagers marveled at the meadow's renewed beauty and the secrets it held. Elara's story became a cherished legend, and the moonlit meadow was celebrated as a symbol of the magic that can be found when one dares to follow their heart and uncover the hidden wonders of the world. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there was an orchard unlike any other. This orchard was known as the Enchanted Orchard, a place where trees whispered secrets to one another and fruits shone with magical light. In the heart of this magical orchard lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout the village for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She spent her days exploring the orchard, talking to the trees, and picking the shimmering fruits. The villagers believed the orchard was blessed by a fairy queen who had once visited, leaving behind a touch of magic. One crisp autumn morning, as Lila wandered among the apple trees, she noticed something unusual. A small, silver key lay glistening among the fallen leaves. Curious, Lila picked it up, feeling a strange warmth in her hand. She wondered what it could unlock and decided to seek the wisdom of the oldest tree in the orchard, Grand Oak. Grand Oak was a massive, ancient tree with branches that reached the skies. His bark was thick and gnarled, and his leaves rustled softly in the breeze. Lila approached him and gently placed the key at his roots. "Grand Oak," she said, "I found this key today. Do you know what it unlocks?" Grand Oak's leaves trembled as he spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "Ah, young Lila, that key is no ordinary key. It opens the gate to the hidden realm of the orchard. But beware, for the path is full of trials, and the enchantments are powerful. Only those with a true heart can succeed." Lila's eyes sparkled with excitement and determination. "I will find out what lies beyond the gate," she declared. Following Grand Oak's directions, Lila soon discovered an old, vine-covered gate at the edge of the orchard. With a deep breath, she inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The gate creaked open, revealing a path that led into a dense, misty forest. As she walked along the path, the mist began to lift, revealing a beautiful and strange land. The trees here were even more magical, with fruits that changed colors and flowers that sang gentle melodies. The air was filled with a sweet, enchanting fragrance, and Lila felt as though she had stepped into a dream. Suddenly, a small, glowing creature fluttered into her path. It was a fairy with delicate wings that shimmered like a rainbow. "Welcome, Lila," the fairy said in a tinkling voice. "I am Iris, guardian of this realm. To continue, you must solve 3 riddles. Each riddle will bring you closer to the heart of our magic." Lila nodded eagerly. "I'm ready." The first riddle was, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, mountains but no rocks, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." Iris smiled and led her to the second riddle, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lila pondered and then said, "An echo." Iris's eyes twinkled with approval as she presented the final riddle, "I am not alive. But I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought hard, and then, with a smile, answered, "A fire." Iris clapped her hands with delight. "You have answered all 3 riddles correctly. You have proven yourself worthy. Follow me." Iris guided Lila to a magnificent clearing where a grand, ancient tree stood in the center. Its trunk was covered in glowing runes, and its branches were adorned with sparkling crystals. The tree's heart glowed with a warm, inviting light. "This is the heart tree," Iris explained. "It holds the magic that keeps our realm alive. Because you have shown bravery and wisdom, we wish to share this magic with you." The heart tree's light enveloped Lila, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. She felt a deep connection to the magical world around her. "Thank you," she said. Iris smiled. "Remember, Lila, the magic of this realm is always with you, as long as you keep your heart true and your spirit adventurous." With that, Lila returned to the village, carrying with her a newfound sense of wonder and a deeper appreciation for the magic in her world. The villagers noticed the change in her and marveled at the new tales she had to tell. And so, the Enchanted Orchard continued to thrive, its magic now known and cherished even more by those who walked among its trees. Lila's adventures became legendary, and her heart remained forever touched by the wonders of the hidden realm. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a girl named Elara. Elara was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for nature. She often explored the woods, where she felt a special connection to the trees, animals, and streams. One day, while wandering deeper into the forest than she ever had before, Elara stumbled upon an ancient, twisted oak tree. Its bark was covered in strange, glowing runes, and its branches seemed to whisper in the wind. Intrigued, Elara approached the tree and placed her hand on its trunk. Suddenly, the runes glowed brighter, and the tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "Greetings, Elara. I am Oakenheart, guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have a pure heart and a brave spirit. I need your help." Elara was startled but curious. "What do you need, Oakenheart?" "The Whispering Woods are in danger," Oakenheart explained. "An evil sorcerer named Malakar seeks to drain the forest's magic to increase his own power. If he succeeds, the woods will wither and die. Only you can stop him." Determined to save the forest she loved, Elara agreed to help. Oakenheart gave her a small, shimmering acorn. "This acorn contains the essence of the forest's magic. Keep it safe, and it will guide you." Elara set off on her quest, following the acorn's glow. As she journeyed deeper into the woods, she encountered many creatures. A wise old owl named Hoot, a playful fox named Finn, and a graceful deer named Lyria joined her, each offering their skills and knowledge. Together, they faced numerous challenges, crossing a raging river, navigating a maze of thorny brambles, and avoiding Malakar's traps. Along the way, Elara's courage and kindness inspired her companions, and they became a close-knit team. One night, as they rested by a campfire, Hoot spoke up. "We are nearing Malakar's lair. Remember, Elara, the strength of the forest lies not just in magic, but in the unity and harmony of its creatures." The next day, they arrived at a dark, ominous cave. The entrance was guarded by Malakar's enchanted creatures. Elara, holding the acorn tightly, led her friends in a plan to distract and outwit the guards. With quick thinking and teamwork, they made their way inside. In the heart of the cave, they found Malakar, surrounded by swirling dark magic. He sneered as they approached. "You think you can stop me, little girl?" Elara stood firm. "The forest's magic is not yours to take. It belongs to all who live in harmony with nature." Malakar laughed and began to cast a powerful spell. Just then, Elara threw the shimmering acorn at his feet. The acorn burst into a brilliant light, enveloping Malakar and disrupting his dark magic. The forest's magic, freed from Malakar's control, surged back into the woods. Malakar, weakened and unable to maintain his spells, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. With the forest safe once more, Elara and her friends returned to Oakenheart. The ancient oak tree spoke with gratitude. "You have saved the Whispering Woods, Elara. Your bravery and the bond you formed with your friends have restored balance and harmony." Elara smiled. "I couldn't have done it without Hoot, Finn, and Lyria. We work together, just as the forest's creatures do." Oakenheart nodded. "Remember, Elara, the true magic lies in unity and love. The Whispering Woods will always welcome you as its guardian and friend." Elara returned to her village, but she visited the forest often, keeping her promise to protect it. The story of her bravery spread far and wide, inspiring others to cherish and protect the natural world. And so, Elara's tale became a legend, a reminder that with courage, unity, and love, even the greatest challenges can be overcome, and the magic of nature can thrive. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a magical forest, lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her beautiful singing voice and her love for the moon. Every evening, she would sit by the river, sing to the moon, and dream of adventures in the stars. One particularly clear night, as Lila sang her favorite lullaby to the full moon, something extraordinary happened. A soft, shimmering light descended from the sky and hovered above her. It was a tiny, sparkling fairy named Elowen. "Lila," said Eloan in a voice like chimes, "your singing has touched the heart of the moon. I am here to grant you one wish." Lila's eyes widened with wonder. "Really? Just one wish?" "Yes," Eloan replied with a nod, "but it must be a wish made with pure intentions." Lila thought for a moment. She wished to explore the stars and see the moon up close, but she knew she had to be careful not to be selfish. Finally, she spoke her wish aloud. "I wish to visit the moon and discover its secrets. I want to learn from the moon's wisdom and bring back something that can help my village." Eloan's wings sparkled brighter. "A noble wish indeed. Hold on tight." In the blink of an eye, Lila found herself on a path made of silver stardust leading up to the moon. The path wound through the night sky, past twinkling stars and floating comets. As she walked, the moon grew larger and more magnificent. When she reached the moon, she was greeted by Luna, the Moon Queen, who was as radiant as the stars themselves. Luna welcomed Lila with a warm smile. "Welcome, brave traveler. You have come with a pure heart. I will share with you the moon's secrets and give you something precious." Lila marveled at the moon's landscape. It was a place of serene beauty, with gentle, glowing craters and moonflowers that sang softly in the lunar breeze. Luna guided Lila to a shimmering, crystal-clear spring at the moon's heart. "This spring holds the moon's wisdom," Luna explained. "Its water has the power to reveal hidden truths and bring peace to those who seek it." Lila dipped her hands into the spring, and images began to appear before her eyes. She saw her village, its struggles with drought and hard times, and the faces of her friends and family. "The moon's wisdom will guide you," Luna said. "But there is also a gift for you." Luna handed Lila a small, radiant stone. "This is a moonstone. It will bring harmony and abundance to your village." With the moonstone in hand, Lila thanked Luna and Eloan, who whisked her back to her village. As she arrived, the village was bathed in a soft, silver glow. The moonstone's magic began to work immediately. The fields began to flourish with crops, the river sparkled with fresh water, and the villagers' spirits lifted. Lila shared her adventure with the villagers, and they celebrated her bravery and the moonstone's magic. From that day on, the village thrived, and the people never forgot the girl who had touched the moon and brought back its precious gift. And every night, Lila would sing her lullaby by the river, knowing that the moon's light was always watching over them, and that sometimes, the purest wishes lead to the most magical discoveries. And so, the village lived happily ever after, under the watchful gaze of the moon and the gentle glow of Lila's moonlit melody. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom shrouded in mist and mystery, there was a small village called Everbrook, nestled in the valley of the Whispering Mountains. This village was known for its lush meadows and sparkling streams, but it had a secret hidden deep within the mountains, a place called the Crystal Cavern. The cavern was said to be filled with magical crystals that could grant any wish, but it was also guarded by a fearsome dragon. Among the villagers was a brave young girl named Lila. Lila had always been fascinated by the legends of the Crystal Cavern, especially the tales of a rare, star-shaped crystal that could bring great joy and prosperity. Her family was poor, and despite their hard work, they struggled to make ends meet. Lila dreamed of finding the star-shaped crystal to help her family and her village. One chilly winter evening, as Lila sat by the fire reading an old book of legends, she stumbled upon a map hidden between the pages. The map depicted a path leading to the Crystal Cavern, marked with strange symbols and warnings about the dragon. Lila felt a surge of determination. She knew that the journey would be perilous, but she was ready to face the challenge for the sake of her family. The next morning, Lila packed a small bag with provisions, a lantern, and a sturdy rope. She bid farewell to her family, who were worried but proud of her bravery. Lila set off into the mountains, guided by the map and her unwavering resolve. The path was treacherous, with steep cliffs and narrow ledges, but Lila pressed on. As night fell, she reached a hidden entrance to the cavern, marked by ancient runes glowing faintly in the darkness. She lit her lantern and stepped inside. The cavern was a breathtaking sight. walls of glittering crystals bathed in a soft, ethereal light. The air was filled with a soothing hum, as if the crystals were singing. Lila followed the map's instructions, navigating through the labyrinthine tunnels with a mix of awe and trepidation. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the cavern, and a massive dragon emerged from the shadows. Its scales shimmered like 1,000 gems, and its eyes glowed with an intense, fiery light. Lila's heart pounded in her chest, but she stood her ground. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "Who dares enter my domain?" "I am Lila from Everbrook," she said bravely. "I have come in search of the star-shaped crystal. My family and my village need it." The dragon's eyes softened slightly as it observed Lila. "Many have come before you seeking the crystal, but none have succeeded. What makes you different?" Lila took a deep breath and replied, "I am not seeking the crystal for myself. I want to help my family and my village. If you can see that my heart is true, please, allow me to take the crystal." The dragon stared at her for a long moment before speaking again. "Very well. I will test your heart's purity. You must answer this riddle. What is the light that shines brightest in the dark, the warmth that soothes the cold, and the bond that holds hearts together?" Lila thought carefully, remembering her family and her village. With a gentle smile, she answered, "Love." The dragon's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered wisely. The star-shaped crystal is yours." The dragon gestured with its massive claw, and a hidden chamber revealed itself, containing the star-shaped crystal. Lila carefully took the crystal and thanked the dragon for its kindness. With the crystal in hand, Lila made her way back to Everbrook. The journey was long and exhausting, but she felt a sense of fulfillment. When she returned, she placed the crystal in the center of the village square. As its light spread, it brought warmth and prosperity to Everbrook. The once struggling village flourished with abundance, and the villagers celebrated Lila's bravery and selflessness. From that day on, Lila was known as the heroine of Everbrook. The tale of her journey to the Crystal Cavern became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of love and the courage to follow one's heart. And so, under the gentle light of the star-shaped crystal, once upon a time, in a village called Greenvale, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her bright eyes, curious nature, and a heart full of dreams. She loved to explore the world around her and often ventured into the nearby Whispering Woods, a place filled with ancient trees and enchanting stories. One warm summer afternoon, while wandering through the woods, Lila stumbled upon a hidden path she had never seen before. Intrigued, she followed it, weaving through thick bushes and tall trees. As she walked, she heard faint whispers in the air, like the forest was trying to tell her something. The path led her to a small clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The water shimmered under the sunlight, and beside it stood an old willow tree with its branches gently swaying. Lila approached the tree and noticed a tiny door at its base, almost hidden among the roots. Curiosity getting the better of her, Lila knocked on the door. To her surprise, it creaked open, and out came a tiny fairy with sparkling wings and a kind smile. "Hello, Lila," the fairy said. "I am Faye, the guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have been chosen for a special quest." Lila's eyes widened with excitement. "A quest? What kind of quest?" Faye fluttered her wings and explained, "The heart of the Whispering Woods is in danger. The magic that keeps our forest alive is fading because the ancient tree of life is losing its strength. We need your help to find the 3 magical crystals that can restore its power." Lila agreed without hesitation, eager to help and embark on an adventure. Faye handed her a map and a small, enchanted lantern. "This map will guide you, and the lantern will light your way. But remember, the crystals are hidden in places that test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." With the map in hand, Lila set off on her quest. Her first stop was the Cave of Shadows, where the Crystal of Courage was hidden. The cave was dark and filled with eerie sounds, but Lila pressed on, her lantern casting a warm glow. She encountered giant spiders and shadowy figures but faced them bravely. At the cave's end, she found the glowing blue crystal and tucked it safely into her pouch. Next, the map led her to the enchanted maze, where the crystal of wisdom was hidden. The maze was a twisting, turning labyrinth with walls that seemed to move on their own. Lila relied on her memory and problem-solving skills to navigate through. She encountered riddles and puzzles, which she solved with patience and intelligence. Finally, she reached the maze's center and found the radiant green crystal. The last destination was the Meadow of Whispers, where the crystal of kindness was hidden. The meadow was filled with animals in need of help, injured birds, lost deer, and scared rabbits. Lila spent time caring for each creature, showing them love and compassion. As she did, a beautiful pink crystal appeared before her, glowing with a gentle light. With all 3 crystals in her possession, Lila hurried back to the Tree of Life. Faye was waiting for her, and together, they placed the crystals around the tree's roots. The crystals began to glow, and a brilliant light enveloped the tree. Slowly, the Tree of Life regained its strength, and the magic of the Whispering Woods was restored. The trees whispered their gratitude, and the forest came alive with vibrant colors and joyful sounds. Faye thanked Lila for her bravery, wisdom, and kindness. "You have saved our forest, Lila. The Whispering Woods will forever be in your debt." Lila returned to her village, her heart full of pride and joy. She shared her adventure with the villagers, and they celebrated her bravery. The Whispering Woods became a place of wonder and magic, where the villagers often visited to hear the trees whisper tales of Lila's heroic quest. And so, Lila lived a happy life, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true magic lies in courage, wisdom, and kindness. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom nestled between the rolling hills and the Whispering Woods, there was a hidden grove that shimmered with magic. This grove was renowned for its ancient, mystical tree called the Whispering Tree. The tree was said to grant wishes, but only to those who approached it with a pure heart. In a quaint village at the edge of this forest lived a kind-hearted young girl named Alara. She was known for her generosity and bravery. One day, while helping her grandmother tend to their vegetable garden, Alara heard a sorrowful cry coming from the edge of the forest. Following the sound, she found a tiny, injured fox trapped under a fallen branch. With great care, she freed the fox and tended to its wounds. To her surprise, the fox transformed into a graceful fairy. "Thank you, dear Alara," said the fairy, her wings sparkling in the dappled sunlight. "I am Lumina, and I am forever grateful for your kindness. I shall grant you one wish, for you have shown great compassion." Alara thought for a moment. She didn't wish for wealth or power but for something that would help everyone in her village. She wished for a bountiful harvest for her people, for the village was suffering from a terrible drought. Lumina smiled and granted her wish, promising that the village's crops would flourish like never before. As Alara returned home, she found the village abuzz with excitement. The fields were lush with golden crops, and the villagers rejoiced at the unexpected abundance. Alara's heart swelled with joy, not for her own good fortune, but for the happiness of her people. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alara decided to visit the Whispering Tree to thank it for its magic. She entered the grove, where the air was filled with a sweet, soothing melody, and approached the grand, ancient tree. The Whispering Tree had leaves that sparkled like emeralds and bark that seemed to shimmer with a golden hue. Alara placed her hands on the tree and closed her eyes, whispering her gratitude. Suddenly, the tree's leaves rustled, and a soft, melodious voice spoke, "Dear Alara, you have shown great selflessness. Your wish has brought joy to many, and now, it is your turn to receive a blessing." Alara opened her eyes to find a small, golden acorn nestled in the tree's roots. The Whispering Tree continued, "This acorn holds the power to grant a new wish. Use it wisely, for it will reveal its true magic only when needed most." Alara took the acorn home and kept it safely hidden, knowing that she might need its magic someday. Months turned into years, and the village thrived under the care of its beloved residents. Yet, the drought became a distant memory, and the enchanted grove was visited less frequently. One fateful day, a terrible storm hit the kingdom, causing rivers to overflow and lands to flood. Alara's village was in danger of being washed away. The once bountiful fields were now submerged, and hope seemed to be slipping away. Remembering the golden acorn, Elara hurried to the grove. With a heavy heart, she approached the whispering tree and placed the acorn in its roots. The tree's leaves began to shimmer more brightly, and the entire grove was filled with a radiant light. The acorn began to glow with a warm, golden light. Elara, driven by her love for her village, made a heartfelt wish for the safety and protection of her home and people. The whispering tree's magic swirled around her, and the golden acorn transformed into a magnificent, shimmering barrier that shielded the village from the raging floodwaters. As the storm passed and the skies cleared, the village emerged unscathed. The floodwaters receded, and the fields were soon recovering. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and the miracle that had saved them. In the years that followed, the whispering tree continued to thrive, and Elara's name became legendary in the kingdom. She never forgot the lesson she learned, that true magic lies not in the wishes we make for ourselves but in the selfless acts of kindness and love we offer to others. And so, Elara's story was passed down through generations, a reminder of the magic that exists in every kind heart and the power of selfless wishes. The end. Once upon a time, in the radiant kingdom of Elaria, there was a princess named Seraphina. Elaria was a land of beauty and light, with lush meadows, crystal-clear rivers, and skies that seemed to always be painted with the colors of sunrise and sunset. But the most wondrous thing about Elaria was the starborn flower, a mystical bloom that grew in the heart of the enchanted forest. This flower had petals that shimmered like stardust and was said to grant one pure wish to whoever found it. Princess Seraphina was known throughout the kingdom for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often spent her days exploring the forests and fields, talking to animals, and helping the villagers with their troubles. One evening, as she sat by the fireplace in the grand castle, her father, King Thaddeus, shared troubling news. "Seraphina," he began, his voice heavy with worry, "the light of the starborn flower is fading. Without its magic, our kingdom will lose its enchantment and fall into darkness. I fear for our people and the land." Determined to save her kingdom, Seraphina decided she would venture into the enchanted forest to find the starborn flower and restore its magic. Early the next morning, she set out on her journey, accompanied by her loyal companion, a wise old owl named Orion. "Princess," Orion hooted softly as they entered the forest, "the path ahead will be filled with challenges. Trust in your heart and the goodness within you, and you will find the way." Seraphina and Orion traveled deep into the forest, their path illuminated by the soft glow of fireflies. As they journeyed further, they reached the Whispering Willow, an ancient tree that was said to hold the wisdom of the ages. "Welcome, Princess Seraphina," the Whispering Willow said in a gentle, rustling voice. "To find the starborn flower, you must first answer my riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I have no mouth, and yet I can drown. What am I?" Seraphina thought for a moment before answering, "Fire." The Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered in approval. "You are wise, Princess. Continue on your journey, and may the stars guide you." As they ventured deeper into the forest, Seraphina and Orion encountered a crystal-clear stream guarded by a playful water sprite named Aqua. Aqua swam gracefully through the water, her laughter like the tinkling of bells. "To cross my stream," Aqua said with a twinkle in her eye, "you must show your kindness. There is a family of fish downstream that has lost their way. Help them find their home, and I will grant you passage." Seraphina and Orion followed the stream until they found the lost fish. Using her gentle voice and soothing presence, Seraphina guided the fish back to their home among the reeds. Aqua, pleased with Seraphina's kindness, created a bridge of water lilies for them to cross. On the other side of the stream, they entered a glimmering grove filled with flowers that glowed like moonlight. At the center of the grove stood a majestic stag named Loomis, the guardian of the starborn flower. "Princess Seraphina," Loomis said, his voice deep and resonant, "to restore the starborn flower, you must prove your bravery. The flower lies within the cavern of shadows, a place where your deepest fears will come to life. Only the pure of heart can retrieve it. With unwavering determination, Seraphina and Orion made their way to the Cavern of Shadows. The entrance was dark and foreboding, but Seraphina's resolve did not waver. As they stepped inside, the cavern seemed to come alive with whispers and shadows that danced menacingly around them. "Stay close, Orion," Seraphina whispered, her voice steady. "We must find the flower and save our kingdom." As they ventured deeper into the cavern, the shadows grew thicker, and the air became colder. Seraphina's heart raced, but she remembered Orion's words and trusted in her goodness and bravery. Finally, they reached the heart of the cavern, where the starborn flower lay, its light dim but still flickering. Seraphina approached the flower and gently touched its petals. At that moment, a brilliant light filled the cavern, dispelling the shadows and filling Seraphina with a sense of peace and strength. She carefully picked the flower and held it close, its magic warming her heart. With the starborn flower in hand, Seraphina and Orion made their way back to the kingdom. As they emerged from the enchanted forest, the flower's light grew brighter, illuminating the path before them. When they arrived at the castle, the entire kingdom gathered to witness the return of their brave princess. King Thaddeus, his eyes filled with pride and relief, greeted Seraphina. "You have saved us all, my daughter. Your courage and kindness have restored the magic of the starborn flower." Seraphina placed the flower in its rightful place in the castle's garden, and its light spread throughout the kingdom, restoring the enchantment and beauty of Elaria. The skies cleared, the river sparkled, and the fields flourished once more. From that day forward, Princess Seraphina's bravery and kindness were celebrated in songs and stories, inspiring future generations. The starborn flower continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and the magic that lies within a pure and courageous heart. And so, the kingdom of Elaria thrived under the light of the starborn flower, and Princess Seraphina's legacy lived on, a testament to the power of love, courage, and the enduring magic of the heart. In a peaceful valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there lay a quaint village called Lumina. Lumina was known for its extraordinary beauty and its people who were gifted musicians. At the heart of the village lived a young girl named Elara, who was renowned for her enchanting singing voice. Each night, as the moon rose high in the sky, Elara's songs would drift through the village, bringing joy and serenity to all who heard them. One evening, as Elara sang under the moonlight, a strange thing happened. The moon began to flicker and dim, casting an eerie shadow over Lumina. The villagers gathered in the square, worried and confused. Without the moon's light, their music seemed to lose its magic, and a sense of sadness fell over the once cheerful village. The village elder, a wise woman named Celeste, approached Elara with a grave expression. "Elara, it seems that the moonlight melody, a mystical force that has always kept our village in harmony, has been disrupted. The only way to restore it is to find the moonlit crystal, which has been lost for centuries." Elara, with her heart full of determination, agreed to find the moonlit crystal. She knew that it was said to be hidden in the enchanted forest, a place known for its magical and mysterious qualities. Armed with her courage and a small silver flute that had been passed down through generations, she set off on her quest, accompanied by her loyal companion, a wise old owl named Orion. The enchanted forest was a place of wonder, where trees seemed to whisper secrets and flowers glowed with a soft light. As Elara and Orion ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered a mischievous sprite named Willow, who offered to guide them, but only if they could solve a riddle. Willow fluttered around them and chimed, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and replied, "An echo." Pleased with the answer, Willow agreed to lead them to the next part of their journey. They traveled through the forest, passing sparkling streams and towering trees, until they reached a grove where the moonlit crystal was said to be hidden. The moonlit grove in the center of the grove stood a magnificent tree with branches that seemed to touch the sky. At its base was a large, ancient stone with intricate carvings. According to legend, the moonlit crystal was hidden within the stone, but it could only be revealed by a pure heart and a harmonious melody. Elara took out her silver flute and began to play a soft, melodic tune. The notes floated through the grove, intertwining with the natural sounds of the forest. As she played, the carvings on the stone began to glow, and the stone itself started to shift and move. The moonlit crystal, a radiant gem that shimmered with the light of the moon, emerged from within the stone. Elara gently picked it up, feeling its warmth and magic. The return to Lumina with the moonlit crystal in hand, Elara and Orion made their way back to Lumina. As they approached the village, they noticed that the moonlight was still dim and the villagers were still forlorn. Elara placed the moonlit crystal in the center of the village square and began to play a melody on her flute, with the crystal's light amplifying the magic of her music. The crystal's glow grew brighter and brighter, and soon, the moon began to shine again, casting a beautiful, silvery light over the village. The villagers, seeing the moon's light return, gathered around Elara, their spirits lifted by the enchanting melody. As Elara sang, her voice blending with the magical light of the moonlit crystal, the village was filled with a sense of peace and joy. The music resonated with the hearts of the people, and the moonlight melody was restored to its full splendor. Queen Celeste approached Elara and thanked her for her bravery and her gift of music. She declared that Elara's song would be celebrated every year on the night of the full moon, to remind everyone of the harmony between the moon and the music that bound their village together. A lasting legacy. Elara continued to sing and play her flute, her melodies bringing joy and light to Lumina. The moonlit crystal was placed in a special alcove in the village square, where its light would always remind the villagers of the importance of harmony, both in music and in life. And so, under the moon's gentle glow and the magical music of Elara, the village of Lumina thrived once more. The moonlight shone brightly, and the melodies of the villagers filled the valley with happiness and peace. Elara's tale became a cherished story passed down through generations, a testament to the power of music, bravery, and the enduring magic of the moon. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling lakes, there was a young girl named Elara. Elara lived with her grandmother in a cozy cottage on the edge of the Whispering Woods. She was known throughout the village for her boundless curiosity and her love for the tales her grandmother told, especially those about the Whispering Willow, a magical tree said to grant wishes to those pure of heart. One summer, a terrible drought struck the kingdom. The crops withered, the rivers dried up, and the once lush fields turned to dust. The villagers were desperate, for without water, they feared they would not survive the coming winter. Elara's grandmother, who had seen many hardships in her time, told Elara that only the Whispering Willow could save them. The Whispering Willow, she said, has deep roots that reach the underground rivers. If you can find it and ask for its help, it might save us all. Determined to help her village, Elara set off early the next morning. Armed with nothing but a small bag of provisions and her grandmother's old, worn map, she ventured into the Whispering Woods. The forest was thick and tangled, with paths that twisted and turned, making it easy to get lost. But Elara's determination never wavered. As she journeyed deeper into the woods, she encountered a fox caught in a trap. Despite her own urgent quest, Elara couldn't ignore the animal's plight. Carefully, she freed the fox, who then transformed into a small, glowing sprite. "Thank you, kind girl," the sprite said. "I am Phelan, guardian of the forest. For your kindness, I will help you on your journey. The Whispering Willow lies in the heart of the forest, guarded by ancient magic. Follow me." Phelan led Elara through the forest, their path illuminated by his soft, golden glow. They traveled for hours, passing through dense underbrush and across trickling streams. Along the way, Phelan shared stories of the forest's wonders and dangers, teaching Elara about the delicate balance of nature. As dusk approached, they reached a clearing where the Whispering Willow stood. The tree was magnificent, its branches heavy with silvery leaves that shimmered like starlight. The air around it was filled with a gentle hum, as if the tree itself was whispering secrets. Elara approached the tree with reverence. "Great Whispering Willow," she called, "our village is suffering from a terrible drought. Please, we need your help to bring water to our lands." The leaves rustled, and a soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Elara, you have shown kindness and bravery. I will help your village, but first, You must prove your heart's purity. You must answer this riddle. What can you hold in your right hand but never in your left? Elara thought for a moment, her brow furrowed in concentration. Then, she smiled and answered, Your left hand. The whispering willow's leaves rustled in approval. You are wise and kind, Elara. For your pure heart, I will grant your wish. The ground beneath the tree trembled, and a clear, sparkling stream began to flow from its roots. The stream grew into a river, winding its way through the forest and back toward Elara's village. Elara watched in awe as the water brought life back to the parched land. Phelan, the sprite, turned to Elara. You have done a great deed today. The forest and your village are forever in your debt. The Whispering Willow's gift will ensure that your village never suffers from drought again. Elara thanked Phelan and the Whispering Willow before making her way back to the village. When she arrived, the villagers were overjoyed to see the river flowing through their fields, bringing water and life back to their crops. Elara's grandmother embraced her tightly. You have saved us all, my dear. Your courage and kindness have brought us hope. From that day on, the village thrived, and Elara's story became a cherished legend. She grew up to be a wise and compassionate leader, always remembering the lessons she learned from the forest and the Whispering Willow. And so, the kingdom prospered, living in harmony with nature, and Elara and her village lived happily ever after, their hearts forever grateful for the magic of the Whispering Willow. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Luminera, there was a hidden sanctuary known as the Enchanted Meadow. This meadow was famous for its sparkling, ever-blooming flowers and the ancient starfruit tree that stood at its center. It was said that the starfruit tree could grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who approached it with a spirit of generosity and selflessness. In a cozy cottage at the edge of Luminera lived a kind-hearted girl named Eloan. Eloan had a special bond with nature and was loved by everyone in her village for her compassion. Her closest companion was a playful and clever squirrel named Nutmeg, who had a knack for solving riddles and finding hidden treasures. One clear, starry night, as the full moon cast its gentle glow over Luminera, Eloan and Nutmeg discovered an old, ornate key hidden beneath the roots of a great oak tree near their cottage. The key was engraved with a star symbol and accompanied by a faded note that read, The Enchanted Meadow awaits. Use the key on the night of stars to unlock the magic within. Excited and intrigued, Eloan and Nutmeg decided to embark on a journey to find the Enchanted Meadow and the legendary starfruit tree. They followed the clues in the note and ventured into the moonlit forest, guided by the shimmering light of the stars above. The forest path led them to the first challenge, the Gate of Whispers. This gate was adorned with intricate carvings and was guarded by a gentle, glowing spirit who spoke. To enter the Enchanted Meadow, you must answer this riddle. I am always in front of you, but you can never see me. What am I? Eloan thought carefully, and Nutmeg chattered excitedly. The future, Eloan answered. The spirit smiled and the gate slowly opened, revealing a path to the meadow. As they continued, they encountered the second challenge, the Bridge of Echoes. This was a bridge made of translucent crystal that spanned a sparkling river. The bridge would only reveal its path when they sang a harmonious melody. Nutmeg hopped up and down, and Eloan began to sing a sweet, melodious tune. The bridge shimmered and began to glow, forming a solid path that led them across the river and closer to their destination. Finally, they reached the Enchanted Meadow. The meadow was filled with the soft, magical light of countless glowing flowers. At the center stood the majestic starfruit tree, its branches heavy with star-shaped fruits that glowed softly in the moonlight. To make their wish, Eloan and Nutmeg had to show their true intentions. They approached the starfruit tree and Eloan spoke from the heart, I wish for the happiness and well-being of all the people in our village. I want them to have joy, peace, and prosperity. As Eloan spoke her wish, the starfruit tree's branches glowed brightly, and the stars above seemed to twinkle more vividly. A gentle breeze carried the magic of the starfruit tree across the land, touching every corner of Luminera. When Eloan and Nutmeg returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were lush and green, the stream sparkled with clear, refreshing water, and the people were filled with joy and contentment. The story of Alolan and Nutmeg's adventure and the magic of the enchanted meadow became a beloved tale in Luminera. It reminded everyone of the power of selfless wishes and the importance of kindness and generosity. And so, the enchanted meadow remained a place of wonder and enchantment, where dreams and wishes came alive under the light of the stars. The end. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Alderwood, there was a legend about an enchanted garden hidden deep within the Whispering Forest. This garden was said to be the home of the Golden Bloom, a magical flower that could grant one wish to anyone who found it with a pure heart. The garden could only be found during the night of the golden harvest, when the full moon cast a golden glow over the land. In a small cottage at the edge of Alderwood lived a kind and curious girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of adventure and her deep connection with nature. Her best friend was a wise and loyal owl named Orion, who had been with her since she was a child. Orion had sharp eyes and could see things that others could not, making him the perfect companion for any journey. One day, as the golden harvest approached, Lyra found an old, dusty map hidden in the attic of her cottage. The map was marked with strange symbols and led to a place deep within the Whispering Forest. Along with the map was a note that read, "Follow the map on the night of the golden harvest to find the enchanted garden and the golden bloom." With excitement in her heart, Lyra decided to embark on the journey to find the golden bloom. She believed that with its magic, she could wish for the happiness and prosperity of her village. Orion, ever the faithful friend, perched on her shoulder, ready to guide her through the unknown. As the sun set and the full moon rose, casting a golden glow over the land, Lyra and Orion set out on their adventure. The Whispering Forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets to those who passed by. The first challenge they encountered was the Maze of Shadows. This was a labyrinth of tall hedges that shifted and changed with every step. To navigate through it, Lyra needed to find the light hidden within the shadows. As they entered the maze, Orion's sharp eyes noticed a faint glow coming from a hidden alcove. Lyra followed Orion's lead and discovered a small lantern that emitted a soft, golden light. Holding the lantern high, Lyra and Orion navigated through the shifting hedges until they emerged on the other side. Next, they arrived at the River of Reflections. This river was known for its crystal-clear waters that reflected not only the sky but also the deepest desires of those who looked into it. To cross the river, Lyra needed to understand the true nature of her wish. As she gazed into the water, she saw her reflection in the reflection of her village. She realized that her wish was not just for herself, but for the well-being of everyone in Alderwood. With this clarity, the waters of the river parted, revealing a stone bridge that allowed them to cross safely. Finally, they reached the Valley of Echoes. This valley was filled with the sound of distant voices, repeating every word spoken within it. To find the way to the enchanted garden, Lyra needed to listen carefully and follow the echoes of truth. Orion, with his keen hearing, helped Lyra discern the true echoes from the false ones. They followed the path of the true echoes, which led them to a hidden entrance at the base of a large, ancient tree. Beyond the entrance lay the enchanted garden, a place of unparalleled beauty. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, and at its center stood the golden bloom, glowing with a light that seemed to come from the very heart of the moon. Lyra approached the golden bloom with a heart full of hope and spoke her wish aloud, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of Alderwood, so that our village may thrive in peace and harmony." As Lyra's words echoed through the garden, the golden bloom began to glow even brighter, and its magic spread throughout the forest and beyond. The light of the golden bloom filled the land, bringing life and abundance to Alderwood and all its people. When Lyra and Orion returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and content, and the people were filled with a deep sense of joy and well-being. The story of Lyra and Orion's adventure and the magic of the golden bloom became a beloved tale in Alderwood, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the magic that can be found in the heart. And so, the enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and mystery, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the golden harvest. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush, sun-drenched valley surrounded by towering mountains and whispering forests, there was a small village named Greenwood. The village was famous for its vibrant flowers and the warm hospitality of its people. Yet, among all its charms, the most enchanting was an old lantern that stood in the village square. It was said to be magical, illuminating the village with a soft, golden light that seemed to dance with the breeze. Legend had it that the lantern had been a gift from a mysterious wanderer long ago, and it had the power to reveal hidden truths and grant a single wish to anyone who truly needed it. However, the lantern hadn't shone brightly for many years, and the villagers had forgotten its magic. In Greenwood lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her kindness and curiosity. She loved exploring the forests and meadows, always seeking out new adventures. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Ilara noticed that the lantern in the village square was flickering dimly. The village had been facing a harsh winter, and the once bountiful fields had turned barren. Feeling a sense of urgency, Ilara decided to uncover the lantern's secrets and restore its light. She believed that if she could bring back its magic, it might help her village through the hard times. Armed with her lantern, a warm cloak, and a heart full of determination, Ilara approached the village square under the light of the full moon. As she neared the lantern, she noticed a soft, musical hum emanating from it. Ilara reached out and touched the lantern, and to her surprise, the lantern spoke in a gentle, melodic voice. "Welcome, Ilara. I am the enchanted lantern, and I can sense your heart's desire. To restore my light, you must embark on a quest to find 3 hidden tokens. Each token holds a part of my magic. Only then will I be able to grant your wish." Ilara, though slightly daunted, accepted the challenge. The lantern's voice guided her towards the first token, hidden deep within the whispering forest. With the moonlight guiding her way, Ilara entered the forest, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the air was filled with the scent of pine. After navigating through the forest, Ilara found the first token, a silver feather resting on a bed of moss. The feather shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. With the token safely in her hand, Ilara continued her quest. The lantern's voice led her next to a sparkling stream that flowed gently through a meadow. The second token, a golden pebble, lay nestled among the pebbles at the bottom of the stream. Ilara carefully retrieved it, feeling its warmth and weight in her hand. The final token was hidden in the heart of a majestic, ancient oak tree. Ilara approached the tree and discovered a small, iridescent crystal tucked into a hollow branch. With all 3 tokens in hand, she returned to the village square. As Ilara placed the tokens around the base of the lantern, its light began to flicker more intensely. The lantern's golden glow grew brighter, casting a warm, comforting light across the village. The villagers gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder and joy. The lantern spoke once more, "Ilara, you have restored my light and proven the strength of your heart. I will now grant your wish." Ilara closed her eyes and made a heartfelt wish for her village to be blessed with prosperity and happiness. As she spoke her wish, the lantern's light enveloped the village, and the fields began to shimmer with new growth. The barren land transformed into lush, green meadows, and the once cold winter gave way to a gentle, warming spring. The villagers celebrated, their hearts filled with gratitude for Ilara's bravery and the magic of the enchanted lantern. Ilara was hailed as a hero, but she remained humble, knowing that the true magic lay in the unity and kindness of her village. From that day on, the enchanted lantern continued to shine brightly in the village square, a symbol of hope and a reminder of the magic that exists in believing and working together. And Ilara's tale became a cherished story, passed down through generations, inspiring others to seek out the magic within their own hearts. The end. Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Luminera, there was a small village called Starhaven, famous for its breathtaking night skies. Each evening, the villagers would gather to gaze at the stars, which seemed to twinkle in patterns of stories and legends. At the center of Starhaven was an ancient lantern known as the Lantern of Stars, which was said to hold the power to guide lost souls and bring light in the darkest times. In Starhaven lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Elowen. She had a special bond with the lantern and would often visit it to make wishes for her village. One fateful night, As Eloan was preparing for the annual Star Festival, the lantern's light suddenly flickered and went out, plunging the village into darkness. The stars in the sky seemed to dim, and a thick fog began to roll in, casting a gloomy shadow over Starhaven. The village elder, a wise man named Orin, revealed that the Lantern of Stars had been enchanted long ago by the great Star Weaver, who had hidden its magical core, a brilliant star gem, in a distant land. Without the star gem, the lantern would remain dark, and the light of the stars would be lost. Orin told Eloan that she was the only one who could retrieve the star gem and restore the lantern's light. Determined to save her village, Eloan set off on a quest, accompanied by her loyal friend, a mischievous squirrel named Tully. They journeyed through lush forests, crossed winding rivers, and scaled steep hills. Along the way, they encountered 3 magical challenges that would test their courage and wit. Their first challenge was a vast, shimmering lake that seemed to stretch endlessly. A mystical sea serpent with iridescent scales emerged from the water and offered them a riddle. "To cross this lake, you must answer my riddle," the serpent said with a voice like the rippling waves. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Eloan thought carefully and then replied, "A fire." The sea serpent nodded, creating a path of glowing pearls across the lake. Eloan and Tully crossed the lake safely and continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a dark, tangled forest where the trees seemed to move and shift. A wise old owl perched on a branch above them and spoke. "To pass through this forest, you must show bravery," the owl said. "What is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Eloan pondered for a moment and then answered, "The future." The owl hooted in approval, and the forest parted to reveal a clear path. As they walked through, they reached a meadow bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a majestic stag with a shimmering antler, its eyes filled with sorrow. "I guard the entrance to the Cave of Echoes," the stag said. "To enter, you must show empathy. My fawn is lost in the cave. Can you help find it?" Eloan and Tully entered the Cave of Echoes, where the walls seemed to whisper and reverberate with every sound. They followed the soft cries of the fawn and found it huddled in a corner, frightened but unharmed. Eloan gently comforted the fawn and guided it back to the stag. Grateful, the stag used its magic to open a hidden passage within the cave. At the end of the passage, Eloan and Tully discovered a small chamber where the star gem was resting on a pedestal, glowing softly. However, the chamber was guarded by a shadowy figure, an envious sorceress who had sought to steal the star gem's power for herself. "You cannot take the star gem," the sorceress declared. "It belongs to me." Eloan stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The star gem belongs to the lantern and the light it brings to the world. It should be used for the good of all, not for selfish desires. The sorceress raised her staff to strike, but Tully scampered up and distracted her long enough for Eloan to grab the star gem. A brilliant light erupted from the gem, banishing the shadows and neutralizing the sorceress's dark magic. With the star gem safely in her possession, Eloan made her way back to Starhaven. As she approached the village, she placed the star gem back into the Lantern of Stars. The lantern's light blazed brightly, casting a warm, golden glow across the village. The stars in the sky twinkled more vividly than ever before, and the fog lifted, revealing a clear, starry night. The villagers of Starhaven celebrated Eloan's bravery and the restoration of the lantern's light with a grand festival. The Lantern of Stars was once again the beacon of hope and guidance for the village, and Eloan's name was remembered as a symbol of courage and selflessness. And so, under the shimmering light of the Lantern of Stars, the village of Starhaven thrived, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, emerald forest, there was a hidden village called Eldoria. This village was known for its breathtaking beauty and the serene harmony between nature and its inhabitants. The villagers lived in harmony with the magical creatures of the forest, and they celebrated the natural world through enchanting melodies that filled the air. In Eldoria, there lived a young girl named Alara who had a remarkable gift: she could sing to the forest. Her voice had the power to make flowers bloom, calm wild animals, and even influence the weather. However, Alara's greatest dream was to find the legendary enchanted melody, a mystical song said to grant a single wish to whoever sang it with a pure heart. One golden afternoon, as Alara was wandering through the forest, she stumbled upon an ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. Intrigued, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. The interior of the tree was a magical library filled with glowing scrolls and dusty tomes. At the center of the library was a wise old owl named Orin, who was the guardian of the tree. Orin looked at Alara with knowing eyes and spoke in a soft, rhythmic voice. "Welcome, Alara. I have been expecting you. You seek the enchanted melody, do you not?" Alara nodded eagerly. "Yes, I do. I want to find the enchanted melody to make a wish that will help my village." Orin fluffed his feathers and said, "To find the enchanted melody, you must complete 3 trials. Each trial will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." With a deep breath, Alara accepted the challenge. The first trial led her to the Whispering Brook, where the waters were known to carry secrets of the forest. The brook was guarded by a mischievous sprite named Pippin who loved riddles. To pass this trial, Pippin declared, "You must answer my riddle correctly. Here it is, *I speak without a mouth, I hear without ears, I have nobody, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Alara thought carefully and then answered confidently, "An echo." Pippin clapped with delight and allowed Alara to cross the brook. As she continued her journey, she reached the second trial, a dense, shadowy grove where the trees were enchanted to move and whisper. The grove was inhabited by the Gloom Bats, who had the ability to cast illusions. To pass this trial, Alara had to find the path through the grove by following the light of a single, glowing firefly. She walked carefully, guided by the faint light and her own inner courage. The bats, seeing her determination, parted the illusions and allowed her to proceed. The final trial took Alara to the top of a misty hill, where she found a majestic, ancient dragon named Draken. Draken's scales sparkled like stars, and his eyes were wise and kind. To pass this trial, Alara had to sing a song from her heart that expressed her true wishes for her village. Alara took a deep breath and sang a heartfelt melody that spoke of hope, unity, and the well-being of her people. As she sang, the dragon's eyes softened, and he nodded in approval. "You have passed all 3 trials," Draken said. "The enchanted melody is yours to find." With Draken's guidance, Alara discovered a hidden chamber beneath the dragon's lair. Inside the chamber was a silver harp that shimmered with moonlight. The harp strings were infused with the magic of the forest, and it played the enchanted melody when touched. Alara gently strummed the harp, and the enchanted melody filled the air with its ethereal tune. As the melody played, the forest seemed to come alive with magic. Flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, and the sky sparkled with stars. Alara made her wish with a pure heart, wishing for her village to thrive and for peace and harmony to reign throughout the land. The magic of the melody spread throughout Eldoria, bringing prosperity and joy to the village. When Alara returned to Eldoria, she was greeted with celebration and gratitude. The villagers rejoiced in the newfound harmony and abundance, and Alara's name became synonymous with hope and magic. And so, the enchanted melody lived on in the hearts of the villagers, a reminder of the power of kindness, courage, and the magic that resides within us all. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Bramblebrook, nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a small, charming tea shop run by a kind old woman named Mrs. Thistle. The tea shop was renowned for its delicious teas and the comforting atmosphere it provided. However, the true magic of the tea shop lay in an old, ornate teapot that Mrs. Thistle kept hidden away in a special cupboard. This teapot was no ordinary teapot. It was enchanted, and it had the power to grant a single wish to anyone who drank from it with a pure heart. The secret of the teapot was known only to Mrs. Thistle, and she used it sparingly, only when someone truly needed a wish. One crisp autumn day, a young boy named Oliver came into the tea shop. Oliver was a curious and kind-hearted lad, but his family had fallen on hard times. His father had fallen ill, and his mother was struggling to make ends meet. Despite their hardships, Oliver always wore a bright smile and tried to help his parents in any way he could. Mrs. Thistle noticed the worry in Oliver's eyes and the weariness in his mother's face. She knew it was time to reveal the magic of the teapot. After Oliver and his mother had enjoyed a warm cup of tea, Mrs. Thistle invited them to stay a little longer. "I have something special to show you," she said, leading them to the cupboard where the enchanted teapot was kept. She carefully took it out and placed it on the table. "This teapot," Mrs. Thistle explained, "has the power to grant a single wish to those with a pure heart. You may use it to ask for anything that can help you and your family." Oliver's eyes widened with amazement. He had heard stories of magical things, but he had never imagined he would encounter such a wonder. He took the teapot and, with a hopeful heart, made his wish. "I wish for my father to get better and for our family to be happy again." Mrs. Thistle smiled warmly and told Oliver to pour a cup of tea from the teapot and drink it. Oliver did as instructed, and as he took the first sip, he felt a warm, comforting sensation spread through him. The teapot began to glow softly, and a gentle breeze seemed to fill the room. That night, Oliver's father's condition began to improve. The next day, a local healer came to the house, and with his help, Oliver's father made a remarkable recovery. The family's fortunes also changed as unexpected help came their way, and they began to find joy and stability once more. Grateful for the magic that had transformed their lives, Oliver and his family returned to Mrs. Thistle's tea shop to thank her. They found her in the garden, tending to her plants. "Thank you, Mrs. Thistle," Oliver said, his eyes shining with gratitude. "The magic of the teapot brought my father back to us and made our family whole again." Mrs. Thistle nodded with a smile. "Remember, my dear, the true magic is in the kindness of your heart and the love you have for your family. The teapot merely helped reveal the goodness within you." From then on, Oliver and his family continued to visit the tea shop regularly, and their lives flourished with happiness and prosperity. The enchanted teapot remained in Mrs. Thistle's cupboard, ready to help those who needed it most, but its true magic lay in the love and kindness that it inspired in those who sought its aid. And so, the village of Bramblebrook thrived, filled with warmth and joy, all thanks to the kindness of a magical teapot and the loving heart of a young boy. The end. The Dragon and the Glass Mountain. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills, there was a legendary mountain made entirely of glass. The glass mountain shimmered in the sunlight and glowed softly under the moonlight. It was a sight of awe and wonder, but it was also a place of great mystery, for at the very top lived a dragon named Ember. Ember was no ordinary dragon. His scales were not the dark, menacing kind seen in most tales, but instead gleamed like molten gold, reflecting the light in dazzling patterns. Ember had guarded the glass mountain for centuries, and it was said that he had been placed there by a powerful enchantress to protect a secret treasure hidden within the mountain's crystalline walls. The enchantment of the glass mountain. The people of the nearby village of Lemuria often gazed at the mountain from afar, dreaming of the treasures it held. Many brave souls had tried to climb the glass mountain to uncover its secrets, but the smooth, slippery surface made it impossible to scale, and Ember's watchful eyes saw all. In the heart of the village lived a young girl named Elara. Unlike the other villagers, Elara did not dream of riches or fame. She was curious and kind, and she loved stories of adventure and magic. Every evening, she would sit by the fire with her grandmother, who would tell her tales of the glass mountain and the dragon that guarded it. One day, as Elara wandered through the forest collecting herbs, she found herself standing at the base of the glass mountain. She marveled at its beauty, but as she looked up, she noticed something strange. The mountain seemed to shimmer differently than usual, as if it were calling out to her. A whisper from the mountain. As Elara stood there, she heard a soft, musical whisper carried on the wind. "Seek the heart, find the flame, within lies the key to end the dragon's reign." Startled, Elara looked around, but there was no one in sight. The whisper seemed to come from the mountain itself. Driven by her curiosity, she decided to return to the village and ask her grandmother about the strange message. That evening, Elara told her grandmother about the whisper she had heard. Her grandmother's eyes widened in surprise. "The heart of the mountain," she said slowly, is said to be where the true treasure lies. But it's not gold or jewels. It's something far more powerful, something that could change the fate of the entire kingdom. Elara's curiosity only grew. What could it be? She asked. The heart of the mountain is a magical gem called the Heartstone, her grandmother explained. It's said to have the power to control the elements and bring peace to the land. But it has been hidden for centuries, and no one knows how to find it, except for the dragon, Ember. The journey begins. Elara knew what she had to do. Despite the dangers, she decided to seek the Heartstone and uncover the secret of the Glass Mountain. She packed a small bag with food, a lantern, and a tiny flute her grandmother had given her when she was a child. Early the next morning, Elara set out for the Glass Mountain. As she approached, she noticed that the mountain's surface seemed to ripple and shift, making it appear even more impossible to climb. But Elara remembered the whisper, "Seek the heart, find the flame." She realized that the path to the Heartstone might not be a physical climb, but a journey of the heart. She stood at the base of the mountain and began to play her flute. The sweet, lilting notes floated up towards the peak. As she played, the glassy surface of the mountain began to change. The smooth surface rippled like water, and a pathway of light appeared, spiraling up towards the summit. Elara's heart raced as she stepped onto the path. It was solid beneath her feet, yet it glowed with a warmth that felt alive. She followed the path upwards, the light guiding her way as it wound around the mountain. Meeting Ember as Elara neared the top, she saw a flash of golden light ahead. There, perched at the very peak of the mountain, was Ember. His eyes, like molten lava, watched her approach. But instead of attacking, the dragon simply stared at her, as if waiting. Elara swallowed her fear and stepped forward. "I've come to find the Heartstone," she said, her voice steady. "The mountain called to me." Ember's gaze softened, and to Elara's surprise, he spoke. "The Heartstone is the source of the mountain's magic, and of my own," the dragon rumbled. "For centuries, I have guarded it, bound by the enchantress's spell. But you are different from those who have come before. You did not seek gold or glory, but something deeper. The Heartstone has chosen you." Ember lowered his head, revealing a glowing crystal embedded in the mountain's peak, just beneath his massive claws. The Heartstone pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic light, like the beating of a heart. The true treasure. Elara stepped forward, her hand trembling as she reached out to touch the Heartstone. The moment her fingers brushed against it, a wave of warmth and light enveloped her. She felt the power of the mountain, the dragon, and the ancient magic all at once. The whispering voice returned, but this time it was clear and strong. "The heart of the mountain is not just a stone, it is the love, the courage, and the kindness within you. Use its power wisely, and the kingdom will thrive." As the light faded, Elara found herself standing at the base of the mountain once more. The Heartstone rested in her hand, glowing softly. The Glass Mountain had returned to its original form, and Ember was nowhere to be seen. Elara returned to the village, where she shared her story and the power of the Heartstone. The villagers were amazed and grateful, for with the Heartstone, Elara was able to bring prosperity and peace to Willowbrook. The once dormant fields bloomed, the rivers flowed with crystal clear water, and the village thrived like never before. As for Ember, the dragon was freed from his centuries-long guardianship and was last seen soaring across the skies, his golden scales glinting in the sunlight. And so, the Glass Mountain remained, still shimmering in the light, a testament to the power of the heart and the courage of a young girl named Elara. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and emerald forests, there was a hidden garden known as the Enchanted Rose Garden. This garden was famous for its magical roses, which bloomed in every color of the rainbow and were said to have special powers. The roses could heal wounds, grant wishes, and bring happiness to those who needed it most. In this kingdom lived a kind-hearted young woman named Elara. Elara was known for her generosity and her love for all living things. She worked in her village as a healer, using her knowledge of herbs and plants to help others. Despite her skills, she had always dreamed of seeing the legendary Enchanted Rose Garden, which was rumored to be protected by an ancient spell and hidden deep within the Whispering Woods. One day, as Elara was tending to her herb garden, she received troubling news. A terrible sickness had begun to spread through the village, leaving many people weak and bedridden. Ilara tried everything she knew to heal them, but the illness was unlike any she had seen before. Desperate to save her friends and neighbors, she remembered the tales of the enchanted rose garden and its magical roses. Determined to find the garden and its healing roses, Ilara set out on a quest. She packed a small bag with essentials, a map, some food, and a charm given to her by her grandmother, which was said to protect the wearer from harm. With a heart full of hope, she ventured into the whispering woods, guided by the soft whispers of the trees. The forest was enchanting, mysterious, with sunlight filtering through the dense canopy and casting a golden glow on the forest floor. Ilara followed the map, but as the sun began to set, she found herself at a crossroads. She had to make a choice: follow the path that led deeper into the woods or take a smaller trail that seemed less traveled. As she hesitated, a soft, melodic voice spoke from the shadows. "Hello, traveler. I see you are seeking the enchanted rose garden." Ilara turned to see a graceful fairy hovering near her. The fairy had shimmering wings and a warm smile. "Yes," Ilara replied. "My village is suffering from a terrible illness, and I've heard that the roses in the enchanted rose garden can heal them." The fairy nodded sympathetically. "I can help you find the garden, but first, you must prove yourself worthy. The garden is protected by magic and only those with pure intentions and a courageous heart can enter. I will give you 3 tasks to complete. Only then will the garden reveal itself." Ilara agreed to the tasks and the fairy, whose name was Leora, guided her to the first challenge. They arrived at a meadow where a magical creature called the Moonlight Deer was trapped in a net made of enchanted vines. The Moonlight Deer had a coat that shimmered like moonlight and eyes full of sadness. Ilara approached the deer gently and used her knowledge of plants to carefully cut through the vines without hurting the creature. After freeing the Moonlight Deer, Leora smiled and praised Ilara for her compassion. The second task was to find a hidden spring in the forest and restore its water, which had been tainted by dark magic. Ilara followed the faint sound of running water and discovered the spring, but the water was murky and blackened. Using a special potion she carried, Ilara purified the water and watched as it sparkled and returned to its crystal-clear state. With the second task completed, Leora led Ilara to the final challenge. They arrived at a large, ancient tree with a gaping hole at its base. Inside the hole was a nest of baby owls that had been abandoned. The owls were hungry and scared, and their mother was nowhere to be found. Ilara took a deep breath and used the food she had packed to feed the owls. She sang a soothing lullaby to calm them and made a cozy nest for them to sleep in. As the owls settled down peacefully, their mother, a wise old owl, appeared and thanked Ilara for her kindness. With the 3 tasks completed, Leora led Ilara to a hidden glen where the enchanted rose garden lay. The garden was more beautiful than Ilara had ever imagined. The roses bloomed in every color of the rainbow, and their petals shimmered with magical light. In the center of the garden was a large, golden rose that seemed to glow with an inner fire. Leora guided Ilara to the golden rose and said, "This is the heart rose, the most powerful of all the magical roses. It has the ability to heal any illness and bring happiness to those in need. Take it back to your village, and may its magic help your people." Ilara carefully picked the golden rose and thanked Leora for her help. She made her way back to the village, her heart full of hope. As she approached the village, she saw the faces of her friends and neighbors, who had been waiting anxiously for her return. Ilara handed the golden rose to the village healer, who prepared a potion from its petals. The potion was administered to the sick, and as they drank it, their health began to improve. The illness faded, and the village was filled with joy and relief. The villagers celebrated Ilara's bravery and kindness. They recognized that it was not just the magic of the rose that had saved them but also Ilara's pure heart and determination. From that day on, the enchanted rose garden was no longer a secret, and the village lived in harmony with the magical forest, always remembering the tale of the kind-hearted girl who saved them with the help of a golden rose. And so, the kingdom flourished, and Ilara's name became a legend, a reminder that true magic lies in the goodness of the heart and the courage to help others. The end.